I slept. I made sure that I found a way through a cloud of haze. Every day I wept, found how to live through all them cloudy days. You know the mind's a maze with all its mixtures. It's always hard to get the entire scope of the picture. 1080p, that's you other busters, yeah, obsolete. Can't fuck with me, excuse my French, but I'm not discreet. I wear my heart on my sleeve, but I've learned my lesson. I learned 1996 birth, one of the greatest weapons untold. I'm destined to reach heights thought I could never see, but foolish thoughts rampage my heart and let me not reach the peaks that's entrusted to me. My belief shatter of past actions, I grieve, but grievance never really matter. It's how I choose to act differently in the coming battles to overcome my limitations and get out my shadow. But it's hard to wait in this world where it was never shallow. Fuck it, let me get the paddles. Fuck that now, let me get this castle. Fuck that now, let me get this battle.
What it do, everybody? We back up in the thing again. Squad Nero back for another year, another round of conversations for all of y'all animated, and comic book, manga, and everything in between, and gaming as well. We appreciate y'all yet again for sticking with us for another year. Make sure if you're coming from that YouTube side that you're hitting that subscribe button and that noti bell to make sure that you're staying up to date with all the new content that we have in store. Be on the lookout for a Stranger Things Roundtable Talk now that that finale has ended. Some of us might go and see that new Avatar movie with the blue people. See what the hullabaloo is all about since they just passed that Billy threshold, if I'm not mistaken. But yet again, Squad Nero back at you again. If you're coming from that Twitch side, hit that follow button, subscribe button, whatever it may be. Make sure you stay tapped in with the comment section as well. You might never know when we bring your comment up to the forefront and begin to discuss it as a team. As always, I got my humble brethren with me. T Smooth, Nasty Nino, aka Chef D, and Croco's Corner. Back at you again. How y'all feeling on this beautiful new year of 2026?
Feeling good. Can't complain. A little sick,
no
under the weather,
complaints.
but happy to make it to the new year.
Yeah, that flu Rona going crazy.
Surprisingly, I've been
Honestly,
able to
that's
avoid that
been
nonsense.
the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Right.
this stupid flu? It's got everybody screwed up.
It's messing everybody up.
Everybody.
I ain't gonna lie. I finally get to go back to work tomorrow after being off for a week and a half.
Mhm.
Felt great. Nice little reset. Hang with family. Didn't get to do what I wanted to do, which was put Sage in a chokehold. But
I bet you'd like that, wouldn't you?
why do you gotta go
Hey.
that route? I did not say anything of the sort for you to go down that avenue. But yeah, just trying to plan out some things for our channel, and yeah, we got work to do. We're about to hit the ground running with this, and yeah, we about to. I'm ready for this.
All right, what better way to start it off with? You already know what the biggest thing in the sphere of comic books will be this year, which will be Marvel, which will be Doomsday. Obviously they've been releasing a couple of teasers in front of Avatar. They've been switching them up every week. Supposedly we have gotten Captain America. We've gotten one based centered around Thor. We've also had one centered around the X-Men that was
That
recently
one hasn't
here.
dropped yet.
X-Men has not dropped yet officially, but people already talked about it, already brought it up. Luckily, we have a couple members in the chat who have also been tapped in with it as well, so we can give y'all our general understandings. Right from the get-go, X-Men joint was the best. I seen a video of the Captain America joint, and it looked like a commercial for an advertisement for medicine.
Yes.
It low key did look like that. It low key did look like that. But I think that's what they're generally going for. They didn't want to probably say too much with his stories since it's gonna be a
either
focal
one of
point.
them, sir?
We don't necessarily have to play it. It's just real quick stuff. Like it's not
Just wait a
really.
minute. A
Yeah,
minute
they could go to Marvel Studios and watch it. It's just a minute each. But Thor 1 got everybody excited. Got me excited to see old school Thor, Infinity War Thor, so to say. That's probably been the best iteration of Thor we've seen thus far. And yeah, the X-Men one recently dropped with Cyclops. Hasn't officially dropped, but dropped in the theaters. Cyclops going crazy in that joint. They're upping up the ante, but how do y'all feel about them?
They're go ahead, D.
I was gonna say I feel pretty good about them. Well, not the Captain America one, like you said, it did seem like a commercial. Um, but the Thor one, I think they're setting the tone with Thor. It's like, okay, like you have the Taika Waititi movie, The Love and Thunder. This is like a more serious version of Thor. Somebody that's like, okay, like, and hearing him pray to Odin, it's like, okay, this is like a different tone for Thor. You know, he has something else to fight for. It's love. It's his child. So that's pretty good to see. And just, I guess, the snippet. Can we talk about the X-Men one or no?
Yeah, we can.
We could talk about it as long as we don't
Yeah.
show it.
Yeah, the snippet of the X-Men one that I saw, well, the whole trailer I saw, I thought that one was pretty dope. And seeing Cyclops in the X-Men uniform from like the 90s, I thought that was like dopest shot that we've seen so far in the movie. But you know, it is pretty exciting.
That joint dropped in 120p on Twitter and had everybody in an uproar in a good way.
Yes.
That's how you know shit is going crazy. How about y'all?
I like how it's like they're stepping up. So we got the Captain America one. It got us a little bit hyped, even though it was like literally like a plain Jane commercial. Then we have the Thor one, which is like that build up. He's praying to Odin. We get the Thor that, like I stated, was the best iteration of him. And next, which most people have seen, the X-Men one, which hasn't been officially released yet. It's like they're building up to big trailer that is dropping on Super Bowl Sunday. And apparently, I read somewhere it's more than just 4 trailers that they're showing. Like they're going to be showing Shuri and all of them, and Namor, the new Avengers, the Avengers with Black Cat, and leading up to Super Bowl Sunday. Did y'all see that anywhere?
I
Yeah,
saw
I
the
it
did
is.
photos
hear
for that
rumors.
one.
I did hear rumors about that. I don't know if it was doable.
It'd be
No,
smart.
they showed
How
they
they're
showed the
moving so
photos
far.
for Shuri and Namor already.
Yeah, supposedly they might have Shuri and Reed Richards be in the next trailer. Supposedly,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
um,
like that's a smart move because it's building us up for that big hurrah of a trailer, which that trailer needs to be 3.5 minutes. Give me
this
3.5 minutes.
this
Give it.
marketing run that they're on, they might go down as one of the best marketings that any movie has ever seen.
But my question is this: after we get Doomsday, how do you top these trailer releases and the marketing for Doomsday for Secret Wars?
I think
Like
you
what?
can
What?
easily.
No, but my
Depending on
question
how the
is what?
story ends, it would
I think
depending
you
on how the
can
story
easily.
ends, they would have to introduce, probably show some new characters or something. But I still think they can top it for Doomsday.
Mhm.
Okay,
Probably show little snippets of the different
multiverses.
parts of the world that's in Battle World. Probably show snippets of that and the characters that might be leading it. Because supposedly we're not getting Tom Holland in this one. They could, because they're doing reshoots right now. They could, in essence, add him in right now. But so far that we know, Tom Holland is going to be a focal point until Secret Wars. So they could show some snippets with him, especially depending on how his movie ends, all that jazz. But they still got some power. They still got some finagling they could do.
Mm-hmm.
How about you now? How you feeling about it?
X-Men was definitely, I do agree with you guys. X-Men was great. Nice to see Thor in his return. Where it's not the Taika Waititi humorous mess that we have gotten in the past. 6 is a lot. 6 was more than I thought. So I think that as much as I'm excited for all of the trailer releases, I'm very curious about how they're gonna go about doing 6. There's enough characters, so I'm not trying to say that as if it's something that has to warrant concern, because there's so many characters in this that any snapshot that you really give us is not necessarily going to be like telling too much of the story. This is unique though, doing it this way. I haven't seen anything like this before. It's very interesting as somebody that works in marketing. It's very interesting to see how overall everything would be received. So far, it seems like a success from them. So
Mhm.
I really tip my hat off to them from a marketing perspective for stepping out of the usual and doing something a little bit more unique. Um,
Dare I say,
mhm.
they might release 3 movies this year alone that might cross that Billy mark.
3.
I'm not, because they're re-releasing Endgame. I'm
I don't
not
think that one will.
too changed that will reach a Billy, but depending on how much niggas is really clamoring for Doomsday, I could absolutely see people going to go see Endgame in
Possibly,
theaters.
especially if it's a new like cliffhanger at the end that's more so pointed towards Doomsday. It's possible. I don't see a billion though. I don't see a
Mhm.
$1 billion. I see like which would be crazy or incredible, but numbers comparable to like Captain America and Thunderbolts maybe, where it's
Mhm.
like somewhere around 400 million, which is still insane for a movie that came out
Yeah,
like
it's just
almost a
re-released.
decade ago. That's impressive. Um but I don't think that one will hit. If it does, I could be wrong. I absolutely could be wrong. If that one does hit a billion, wow. That's yeah. But
It's all depending
Spider-Man
on the
for
market.
sure, Doomsday for sure. I do give you that. Those two, yeah, they definitely will. I don't Doom I think I like how everything is being set up. Um Going back to the 6 trailers, I tell you one. Now, I said was just a little bit worried. Well, not worried, but just a little interested in seeing how everything is presented. But I will say this: I am very happy that we're getting 6 trailers for the simple fact that the media outlets and amateur media outlets that have arisen on social media have made it a mess. So preferably if they can give us 6 trailers that can kind of give us all of the speculations that we possibly have had more or less confirmed, maybe not completely confirmed obviously, but enough things confirmed for us to kind of push away from a lot of the content that's been coming out in amateur and semi-professional media, comic book media, and comic cinematic universe media outlets. I appreciate that because I am so tired. I don't want to see Doom twerking and people telling me that that's real and being
Yeah.
serious about it. I'm not.
Mhm.
No, I don't want to. Me personally. I don't want to see things like that. And that's one of the more funnier versions. But there is a lot of versions that are like believable to some extent, and it's just kind of like, all right, yo. All I need is for Marvel to just tell me what's going on. That would be the most ideal. But it's all cool.
Y'all know how we complain because there was so many characters?
Mhm.
I thought about it, like,
Did we?
remember when Attack on we did complain. It was like, yo, it's mad niggas in here for screen time.
I
But
believe
when
you,
you
but
watching
I
Attack
take
on
that
Titan,
back.
yeah,
The
but like
complaint
remember
was
when
how do you divvy out that screen time? That's what the complaint was.
I mean, I think
Okay,
I think
that's
they'll have
yeah.
ample screen time, but it could play into the story as for like misdirection. Because when we watched Attack on Titan and we had all them damn characters we following, when the female Titan attacked, we didn't know who the fuck it was. Right under our nose, it was Annie. It was like the perfect amount of perfect amount of characters that was already in the mix
Mhm.
for you to be
Mhm.
like, yo, I can't even focus on who it could be right now
Who
because
would
I'm
be
already counting
right?
who this and this. So it's like I feel like this movie is gonna have some type of misdirection where it's like, oh, we got this character and this character and this character. Then it's like 45 minutes go by, you don't know what's gonna happen. So, I mean, of course they're gonna finish off the list and say who else is in the movie, but I think they still got a good amount of characters in here. I take back of me saying it was too many niggas in the first place.
All they gotta do is have a good story. That's
Yeah,
all
we
they
even have
gotta
the
do.
synopsis yet.
Nope. They try and do misdirect. That's another thing that they're doing well this year too. This time around, Infinity War, I feel like those leaks came out OD, and it was just too easy. Now they're like drowning out the leak and throwing people off they scent, saying other stuff. We don't even have a clear direction of who Sadie Sink character is. And before, with other movies in the past with Marvel, we'd be able to figure that out, deduce it from the shitty leaks, and be able to deduce it from the real leaks, and then boom, we'd be straight. But they're doing a hell of a job now, so kudos to them. It seems like their marketing ploy is working so far, and I can't wait to see what other trailers they have in store for us. Since we're already on Marvel, we might as well stick around for the Alex Perez Q&A part 3, unless any of y'all had any last comments.
Yeah, I
Nope.
did. It's semi associated with this, but also kind of separate, and we don't have to spend a lot of time on it. But Spider-Man, do you feel like if these Avengers Doomsday trailers go into the Super Bowl, do you think that we'll get a Spider-Man trailer as well during the Super Bowl? Or
Yeah.
do you think
Possibly.
that it like, and if we don't though, do you think that like that's like it's too like for a movie that's coming out before Doomsday, it's kind of like we should be getting stuff sooner.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead, Rob.
If they wanted to swing big nuts, they dropping both
I
Doomsday
agree.
and Brand New Day in the Super Bowl.
I
If they
agree.
really swinging big nuts. But do I really think that Disney will probably waste that much money on both of those movies when they could just release Brand New Day on their own and still galvanize a lot of traction regardless? They'll probably do the latter. They probably won't drop them both at the Super Bowl. That just costs too much.
Yeah, because I didn't think it made sense to be like, let's show these little bits and pieces of Avengers coming out and it come out next year. But it was like we finished the year off not getting all the little teaser trailers coming out. It was like, if y'all was gonna do that, you should have started, at Thanksgiving time. So that way, once it hits a year until the release of the movie, we have all these teaser trailers that we can see. And then boom, next year when Super Bowl comes out, we can focus on Spider-Man. Because having a Spider-Man trailer out in 180p and everybody been seen it already, it's like, no, you should want to get on top of that and be like, no, this is what this shit actually look like. But I mean, we still waiting on the official X-Men teaser to drop. So it's like, I don't know what they got going on.
I think
Hopefully the Super Bowl.
I think it still works out in their advantage. That early clip, again, another 120p trailer that dropped and just got folks clamoring just off of the ideas and concepts that was being shown on that 120p trailer. We obviously can't show you it on this channel, or else we will be royally fucked from Sony and or Marvel. So you could probably
That cease
find
and
them
desist
still.
letter will be coming with a quickness.
OD. You could probably find some in some Discords. You could probably find some on some Twitter still out there, possibly. I don't know. If you haven't seen it, I'm sorry. You should out of luck. But on the bright side, when it does come out in 1080p, you'll be able to see a lot better quality version than we were able to. I could barely listen to what it was. But they just talked about a couple things. We'll talk about that more a little bit later. But right now we got the Alex Perez Q&A. It's already talking about Spider-Man 2. Somebody asked, obviously this is from Cosmic Circus, so shout out to them. A new chat message. That's nobody of importance. Somebody asked, do you think Spider-Man will be one of the main characters of Secret Wars? Tom Holland. Alex Perez responded, yes. Somebody asked, when do you think we'll get the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer? This is more so on what now I was talking about. Alex Perez said next year, most likely around the Super Bowl, technically this year. Around the Super Bowl or earlier. Somebody asked, based on what you may have heard, in what way do you see Holland's Spider-Man's eventual symbiote arc going? Spectacular Spider-Man or something like the PlayStation game? Alex Perez, a combo of all of those.
So I got a question in regards to the releasing of the trailers. Which one do you release first during the Super Bowl? If they're going to release both of them at like, do you release Doomsday first, or do you go Spider-Man first? Which one will give you the most buzz?
I think you started off with Spider-Man and then ended off with Doomsday. Because if you do Spider-Man, a lot of people not going to expect you to do Doomsday. Really, if you do either or, they're not going to expect the other one to drop either. So, but I think if you really want to do it, Spider-Man is really going to get people clamoring. And then you drop that Doomsday, niggas' heads is going to explode. What the fuck?
Yeah, facts.
After they just seen Spider-Man, after the trailer that we seen in 120p, and we seen all the hand ninjas come out and start fighting Spider, like, bro, you see that, and then you have Doomsday, you see Doom fucking niggas up. Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. Turn off the Super Bowl at that point in time. Nobody want to watch the game after that.
You're not saying that
Hey.
if it's the Bills.
I'm
Yeah,
saying
I'm not saying that.
yeah.
Yeah, if it's the Bills, I'm not saying that. Yeah. I'm glad y'all know. But yeah, it really. I feel like at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. I'd probably say Spider-Man first and then Doomsday. But if you put Doomsday and then Spider-Man after, niggas is still gonna be like, "Hey, yo, this is crazy. This is like I was saying earlier, big cojones energy. The fact that you dropping money on 2 Super Bowl,
I think it's possible. Because hear me out. Like,
That's the best marketing right there at the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
if
Yeah.
Sony biting the bullet on something related to that too,
they gonna make that shit back triple.
But here's the thing though, when the Super Bowl goes commercial, you get maybe like I think the commercial time is extended since they have all those commercials lined up for the Super Bowl that people pay so much daggone money for. But do you release them both back to back during one
Give it some time.
segment, or do
No,
you say,
yeah.
you know what, first quarter we gave you
Yeah.
Spider-Man, then
Yeah.
after the Bad Bunny
Yeah.
after the
Right.
Bad Bunny performance, we'll give you the other one on third quarter. Or do you wait till fourth?
Have some time. Because it give people time to talk about it. Time for the algorithm to start working. Time for the hashtags to start proliferating and all of that jazz. It gives them time. And then, yeah.
Yeah, facts. That Spider-Man first, definitely. And I would say, like T said, after the halftime show
Mm-hmm.
or something, you start, because you got to let people talk about the halftime show.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So they definitely got to start out with Spider-Man first. Because it's like, damn, if you ain't, we getting Avengers shit before Spider-Man is still weird to me. The Spider-Man come out in July.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's just
It's still
because
gonna be
of the brevity of Avengers.
Would it be a teaser trailer or would it be a full trailer?
For Spider-Man or Doomsday?
It would have to be. It'll have to be a full.
Doomsday.
Both of them are gonna be a
full trailer. Both of them
Full
full
trailer.
trailers.
y'all think Doomsday gonna
teasers.
give a full trailer
Yeah.
and it come out in
Yeah.
December?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I
a
think
reason.
So
It's
you
a
know
reason
how,
why they're this confident to drop the teasers that they've been dropping.
But
so
the thing
far.
is, though, do you know how some movies will have like 3 or 4 different trailers, but some will have the same clips, but like it'll be more expounded? They probably might do that. They'll give us something so that we could talk about it. Then trailer 2 drops around July or August, right after Spider-Man. Then we get trailer 3 going into September, lining us up so that we're ready for this movie in December.
It's kind of like I know niggas is going just hear me out. It's kind of like the trailers for Captain America, Brave New World. From the trailers, that joint looked like a great film. You can't lie, because everybody was like, all right, well, I'm kind of interested in this Captain America film. Obviously, the movie didn't pan out to be that way. But if they could do it like that, Captain America, I'm pretty sure they started recycling the same couple of scenes like T was saying, but then they kept adding little story bits to get people more interested. Oh, why is Isaiah Bradley moving like this? Oh, the Celestial Hand. Oh, Adamantium. Is it Adamantium? Blase, blase, blah. They could do the same thing with Doomsday. They got the marketed down pat. We over here, they just now about to release Wonder Man, and they just released one of the best trailers for a TV show in a long time, I think. So I think they got the marketed down pat. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm not gonna lie. Looking at that trailer, I had a whole bunch of questions. So many questions.
I'm curious.
So
We're gonna talk about that a little bit later.
Oh, okay.
We still got more for the AliExpress. Somebody asked, for Brand New Day, are they taking a more practical route with this film? Not as much reliance on VFX in order to get it done on time? Alex Perez, there is a lot of practicality being done for this film, especially in the fight scenes. I have to give my props to the stunt coordinators, because holy crap, these might be just some of the most awesome movements I've seen from Spider-Man in a long time. Without giving away the whole thing, there is a Wonder plan that just screams Raimi and Webb inspiration, and it is absolutely phenomenal. This is a Spider-Man who has honed in on his fighting, his abilities, and his spider sense. It's like they put Jackie Chan himself in the damn suit.
Isn't Jackie Chan's stunt
Stunt
company
team
doing
was
this
Yeah,
stuff?
there.
his stunt team
Yeah,
was
his
doing
stunt
it.
team
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
there. Yeah. Yeah. He was there on set, if I'm not mistaken. They took pictures of him, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But his stunt people was there. Hi, Alex. I hope you're doing well. Is Sadie Sink's role expected to last beyond Brand New Day and Secret Wars? There's a lot of secrecy involving her role in the movie and Secret Wars, that's for sure, but there's some new information that slowly trickles in from all places, and it's difficult to filter out the noise from the real deal. But there's a new lead to chase here, and if the lead turns out to be true, not only will she be expected to return post Secret Wars, she may very well be one of the faces of the mutant saga. Do with that what you will. The main leak right now is Sadie Sink is the new Jean Grey of the New Mutants for the rebooted X-Men that Marvel is planning to do. That's the main leak so far. They got other leaks saying she might be Shathra or Fire. What was the other one?
Firestarter.
Firestarter.
I think
Possibilities.
that make the most sense. I mean,
Firestarter.
they have, because it's not like Jean Grey and Spider-Man have a connection. They can't
That's what
obviously
I'm
do
saying.
something new, but like he was literally in we know that, especially when Marvel, like, they have a tendency to go to reference things that's like really, really old, and also things that's kind of like recent in time. This is some like Firestarter is something that existed with the Spider-Man and his best friends or whatever it's called. That was
Yeah.
something that existed twice. It had 2 iterations that I believe was done in regards to that. So I think that makes the most sense for them to kind of draw on that. If it's something that if there's an IP that's already been done with Spider-Man and his character, yeah, why not?
Side
It's just too grandiose, I think, too, having it kind of take away from. I don't think again, one of the things that we talked about is that we think that with these next, like with this trilogy that Tom Holland is currently in, that they're, at least we hope for, that they're going to put more emphasis on Spider-Man as opposed to different side characters or more attractive characters, and they got the proper opportunity to do that. I think Jean Grey does detract from that. Like this idea of Spider-Man being the focus, if you throw that in there. I
Yeah.
kind of hope that she isn't, for that exact reason, because I do strongly agree with y'all that I think that these next Spider-Man movies should be one where we focus on Peter Parker.
I'm kind of on the odd fence with that, because I don't think Jean Grey would, especially if they're trying to connect this movie somehow to Doomsday in some form or fashion. Think having Jean Grey in there might be able to connect us a lot more. And if they're able to finesse it in a way, it could be able to be a pivotal story piece to push the story forward, but not take too much away from Peter as a whole.
So
But
It's a big
I know
name,
one
bro.
big thing
it
is from
is.
sorry for like sidetracking, but I know from the Wonder Man trailer, this Wonder Man might be connected to Spider-Man due to like the people that's coming after him. It might be the same task force that's supposed to be going after Spider-Man and everybody in Brand New Day, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of like to Niall's point, how can we get a Spider-Man movie after he's lost so much, and then it's like, all right, damn, let's focus on Spider-Man. We gotta make sure this shit connect to Doomsday, and it's like we already see that, we see the Hand in there, then the Hulk is in there, then the Punisher's in there. And you like, all right, this already taking a turn. I'm like, fuck it, we got Jean Grey in this bitch, y'all. So it's like, all right, if you're introducing Jean Grey, she gotta have some type of role in there or some type of importance. It's like you're not really getting as much Spider-Man as you need, in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
for it to be just focused on him, especially on his new trilogy without his friends. Because I
I
mean,
don't
shit, they're gonna be in the movie too.
I don't know, because I think what I'm thinking is something's gonna happen so catastrophic, not catastrophic, but something big is gonna happen to Tom Holland's Spider-Man to the point where he's not gonna be available for Doomsday. And if Doom really feels like this Spider-Man specifically would be such a thorn in his side, where he sends manipulated X-Men to that universe to try and stop him and keep him occupied, I think that could serve as a good enough instance for the story to still be based around Spider-Man, especially how dominant he can be and the
I think
risk that he
he cut
poses
out.
for Doom. Hello?
I think we
Spider-Man ain't
lost him.
shouldn't be that important to Doom though.
Not at least at this point. I don't.
Fuck
Yeah.
no.
So
Not over.
Secret Wars, I could see him being. He is like a titular character in the MCU currently right now. So like Secret Wars, I could see him playing possibly a larger role. But I
Yeah.
don't think that this movie, especially if he's not going to be in Doomsday, has to be pointed at anything larger outside of
Or
maybe a
there's
cliffhanger.
Yeah, but there's no threat he's posed even in the MCU to be like, oh, he could be a thorn in Doom's side. It's like, nah, like if anybody should be a thorn, it should be Kamala or Shang-Chi because they have these artifacts. It should be somebody from Wakanda because they have these resources and the technology and the magic. And it's like we have so much going on in the MCU that can be a threat to Doom. Having a nigga that just got the the torch passed to him and Tom Holland or whatever, hell no.
Yeah, stakes don't seem too crazy from it. While we waiting on Sage to get back, I did just want to shout out JETN. Thank you so much. Happy New Year to you again. He said, I enjoy being tapped in with y'all and you keep me up on what's coming. I had Marvel fatigue, but I'm curious of what they're doing with Spider-Man and want excitement again for this phase. I completely agree, JETN. Thank you again for stopping by. Yeah, I mean, I think that it should be. Spider-Man's seemed to do really well. I think that this will be another example of that. I'm very excited by that. Um, I think that next year should, looking at it and looking at all the things that we've gotten so far, I think that the movies next year should be good. Like that's my personal sentiment. I think that Doomsday should be good. I think that Spider-Man should be good at the very least. Like maybe they don't hit again with the Disney Plus content, but at the very least, I do think those two movies should work.
My whole thing is at the end of the day, like I'm a big Spider-Man fan, and I'm really curious as to it. We're hearing so many different stories, like with Sadie Sink's character, this whole man spider situation, that it could be going down that avenue. Honestly, I would rather if Aunt May didn't die, if they went with the Peter Parker Kingpin storyline where he rolls through
I
the jail
wish.
as Peter Parker.
They
Bro,
can't though. They
yeah,
can't
it's too
use the
brutal.
Kingpin.
It's too brutal. It's too brutal.
No, well, it's not even that. It's rights. It's a rights issue, which is really
Yeah, they can't use them
weird.
in the movies,
They
but
can't
they
use
can
them in
use them in
movies.
TV
I don't even
shows.
know what studio is that.
Universal.
Oh yeah. Okay. Universal
Also
just
Jay,
gotta keep a
yep,
link.
and Jay responded, "What are they doing with Strange following the oddity that multiverse of madness?" I remember last time y'all were talking about how America Chavez would have fumbled in it. The Baron Mordo do anything with Doom or something? One big thing is I did read that Amanda Chavez will not be a part of Doomsday, which doesn't make sense.
Crazy.
Nah, they said that she will. She won't have a big role in it though.
Which is crazy though.
Yeah, because she's the main one that's jumping through multiverses with no problem.
And she should if she's being trained by the Sorcerer Supreme in what's that nigga name? Wong. And she been at that school since 2022. So she done have 4 years to train or whatever. It's like, bro, like she should have a handle
She
on
should have a more important
some
role.
sorcery
Yeah.
and the multiverse hopping. Like this should be the character where you're like, oh, okay, she about to get some shine. Not fucking Florence Pugh, who has electric baton sticks. Like, what are we
Yeah.
talking about?
I think she might get her shine.
No,
We
yeah.
still
She's not
don't
allowed.
know. She might get her shine. She
She's
might get her shine.
she's
I
not getting
mean,
her time.
I mean, when we look at it, her powers is gonna pale in comparison to the rest of these niggas that they with. The only thing that they're gonna have to worry about is the multiverse. But at that point in time, incursions will be destroying the multiverse.
Her
So
powers are gonna pale in comparison to Florence Pugh and the Russian
it's just
dude.
gonna pale in comparison to the Sentries, to the Wondermans, to the Franklin Richards, to the
But they ain't even set
Eternities,
Franklin. But I'm
Love.
saying, like, if you got you have the multiverse saga, you
Yeah.
have a character that jumps through the multiverse, and you're like, you know what?
Yeah.
Let's sit her on the back burner right now. Let's keep her warm in case we got to bring her out. But we will use the Thunderbolts, who have one superpower being, as main characters in these Avengers movies. It's like, bro, like,
I
what,
I
what are you
d-
doing?
my only kind of pushback on that is we really can't forget that there are two movies that's going to be connected to all of this. It could just be that they are simply setting up Doomsday for a lot of fanfare, a lot of showcasing for Doom's powers and Doom's power
Yeah.
sets. It could just be it could just be that, like, where they're setting that up for that. But then when we get over to Secret Wars, that's where lines are connected more. With probably what I would imagine would be a lot of our more youthful characters. We'd start to see where, to your point earlier, the Shang-Chi, the Kamala Khan, the America Chavez, we'll start seeing those characters kind of actually play a larger part and getting us out of whatever happens in Battle World and Secret Wars. And then I think that also is potentially a really good way to set them up for the being more experienced characters as we go into the X-Men phase. I just say don't rule it out. If we don't see it in Doomsday, I don't think that some of the lines that would make sense we won't necessarily get by the time we get to Secret Wars. And if we don't in Secret Wars, then I'll come back and say, yeah, I think Marvel dropped the ball on a character like America Chavez, because I do think that that's crazy. But I don't know if she's not going to be important yet. I just am not ready to say that.
Mm-hmm.
But my whole thing is, how could she not be important? Like, she was the focal point of Multiverse of Madness, which literally it says the name of what the saga is in the title, Multiverse. She needs to be not a footnote, as like Jay said, that she's even being considered like a footnote, but you got to at least show her working with Juan, utilizing her powers to be able to. She could be like the secret weapon to stop Doom if need be, or to try and keep the multiverse together in some way, shape, or form.
Y'all expected me to think that niggas would be happy in the theaters to figure out that America Chavez was the secret weapon to fight Doom. I'm just saying, from
Rob,
all
you
of
the
the
same-
wait,
years,
hold on, T.
yo,
Rob, you the
from
same
all
nigga-
of the years,
You the same nigga that just
I don't think
said
that's fair.
Spider-Man could be a thorn in Doctor Doom's side. All the shit Doctor Doom has done, you think Spider-Man is gonna be a thorn in his side?
I think because more so his spider sense will be able to detect him trying to manipulate others. It'll be able to sense that he's actually not trying to be good. It'll cinch his it'll point out his ulterior motive, just like when the Green Goblin turned back into the Green Goblin from Norman Osborn, and only his spider sense was able to dictate that before Norman even did anything.
Doctor Doom has no reason to lie. That's one.
He
And
will
Dr. Doom,
manipulate.
we already know he thinks that he's right all the
Yeah,
time.
he will manipulate though. That's my point. And nobody will know the difference unless it's Spider-Man.
No, if they have Spider-Man be the only nigga that be like, hey, he's about to play a trick on us, that would be fucking stupid.
I think that would be pretty comic accurate. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, hold on. Like, the way your face turned out when I was talking about America Chavez, she is the only one that's able to really jump through the multiverses. What I'm saying is, not have her be the main thing to take Doom down, but if they got to go through multiverses to catch up with Doom or to get in and out of Battle World, they can utilize her for that.
But
She
I
doesn't have to
don't.
be a big point where, like you said, you have people like at the whole thing, but she can be used in it in some way, shape, or form where she's not wasted.
I would go as far as saying take the word could out. She should. She should for this saga be somewhat of a player.
Focal point.
She shouldn't be. She shouldn't be, to Jay's point before. She should not be a footnote. That doesn't make sense. I don't know. Why should she be a footnote? That's I guess I need that explanation. Why should such a pivotal piece and power be a footnote?
I think because the time for traversing the multiverse has ended now. Now it's save your universe type of timing. So I
But she
think
can jump through all the different
That don't make
universes.
sense,
though.
though.
I know, but at the same time, we already have multiple incursions happening at the 616 universe. It's no time to be traveling to other universes at this point in time. When at 80 moments notice, your universe could be at the verge of imploding, of being destroyed by another universe type of thing.
But that
I
doesn't
understand what y'all saying.
because we get apparently Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine,
Yeah.
and the X-Men.
Yeah.
So we have to traverse through multiverses in order to get these spirits.
I don't think that they're traversing to their multiverse. I think people are coming to the 616 universe.
Okay, how do they get there?
From various means, I guess. I'm guessing
America
Dr. Doom.
Chavez is right
I'm
there.
guessing
That's what I'm
Dr.
saying,
Doom.
like her power in
She
terms
could
of the
use
story.
her power that way, yeah.
Yeah, like it's, and again, more things could unravel. It could be one of those things where, like,
But also, we have seen Fantastic Four be able to create the means to travel the multiverse.
sure, they got the smartest person in the universe on their team, in the known universe on their team, and in the comic books, like the smartest person in the Marvel comics on their team. I'm sure that, yes, they were able to figure out a way that most people wanted.
But the
But
X-Men,
for others, that, yeah, like,
They could potentially use
and like
Monica
you always
Rambeau.
say, we haven't seen all of the characters. They could possibly introduce new characters that we
Okay.
somehow need to have brought into the fold that America Chavez could play a part in.
They could still use Monica Rambeau too, potentially, as well.
See,
I mean, they have
what
to
does her
use her.
powers do?
Hold on. But my thing is that multiverse of madness where she was being hunted down for and like killed, or was trying, like whatever was trying to kill her, that it just holds no weight at this point anymore. It's like, is she a one and done character?
Nah, I think they just want to focus on like the titular characters. I think they're gonna give her shine. I just don't think that her being a kid. I'm sorry, but these are grown adults that she's going up against. I understand. I
But who
understand
says
what
she
y'all
needs
saying.
to go up against them? She just needs to be
She's
utilized
gonna
in some
end
way, shape, or form.
If she's
That's all.
going in this film, she's gonna have to go up against adults at some point in time. She's gonna be too vital to the cause, and niggas are going to hunt her down. Now, albeit we've seen this happen with Spider-Man, but Spider-Man is one of the only characters in the comics of Marvel that can actually hold his own with the adults that he was fighting alongside with. That's the only thing I'm saying. Maybe she'll come back for Strange Academy. Maybe she'll do something more so with the Midnight Suns. Maybe she could do all of that stuff, use her powers to go to different dimensions, different universes, help fight Mephisto, all of that jazz. I can see her probably later down the line where she grows older, but at this present point in time, I don't think so. She could be used as a chess piece.
Wait, hold
But what
on.
about what Derek? Hold on, just, I'm sorry to
She's
cut you off, but I
Go
want to
ahead,
bring
go
up
ahead,
the
She
point
just
that you
wasted.
brought up. What about Dee's point? She's been training with the Sorcerer Supreme for 4 years. That's just supposed to mean nothing. Like, I understand she's young, but
it
like,
could mean something later. is
why
what
not
I'm saying.
now?
Nigga, she's the multiverse hops. Something later, that bro, we're in the multiverse saga. We have Wong, we have Doctor Strange that had the third eye that was with Clea, and we ain't seen that nigga since. We need him. We need America Chavez with the multiverse hopping. It's like, bro, you have her, the 10 rings, the fucking Bengals. You need, these are the things that would be thorns in Doom's side. These are the things that is like, okay, these are something that are integral to the multiverse, or that are sending out some type of bells in the universe, some beacons or whatever. Not fucking, well, Spider-Man in the comics, he'll be able to detect Doom lying to niggas, or Spider-Man, he can hold his own against adults. Like, bro, who are you taking in a fight? Or if you had to go and battle somebody, would you take fucking
Spider-Man.
you would take Black Widow and Winter Soldier over America Chavez after she'd been with Wong for 4 years?
Probably, yes.
Rob.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, like I don't agree with that. I think that should be used. Now, to Sage's point, if they are releasing this Avengers Endgame movie with the end credit scene to like retcon everything, then maybe. But with the narrative, which would be insane, but with the narrative that we have gotten, I do agree. I think you have to flesh out some of the points that you have. Some of these characters should not just be, in these positions where they aren't being used, and we've had background and story kind of discussed about them, which should be utilized.
I'm just afraid where if they force her into the story and then they don't do her justice, because then they're in a lose-lose predicament.
I don't think that is forcing her though, especially again, multiversal powers, multiverse saga. It could be something where Doom is after her.
Nah,
it doesn't
but I'm
have to
saying
necessarily be that. It could be the fact that her power is resourceful to him.
yeah,
It's
but
just she shouldn't be a footnote. That's the biggest thing.
I'm saying if they use her where they just show Doom, have her in prison, and she's opening up portals for him, and that's the only shit that we see, I feel like even though
I would be
that
okay
is a pretty
with that.
cool aspect, it's a lot of niggas that would not be okay with that, and they would still classify that as a footnote. That's what I'm saying.
But
Because
that's
that's
not.
a
But
vital
but
part
hold
to
on, hold on,
Doom's
hold on, hold on,
plan.
hold on. But Doom is trying to get all the children, right? If I'm correct, if that's supposed to be the storyline.
That's speculating.
But I understand that speculating.
Speculations.
But okay, here's the thing. Franklin Richards got all this daggone powers. Then he's going to probably take Thor's daughter. That's why Thor is praying, because he knows there's big fights coming up. What then? Let's say he goes after America Chavez, which will push everybody over to Battle World, where they have to save her and get the other children back from Doom. That could work. I'll be okay with that, because how is he going to get everybody over to Battle World? I understand everybody comes over to 616.
He doesn't need America Chavez when he has Loki and he has his powers to control the multiverse.
But
to keep the multiverse alive.
But before he's able to do that,
Loki.
but before he gets to Loki, what if he needs America Chavez just to have her as to set up his plan to be able to get the powers from Loki? They usually don't follow through with the daggone comics. Sometimes they switch up the story a little bit. So it's a possibility, because you're going to have people asking the question, where is America Chavez? Why is she not being utilized? This is the multiverse saga. She can jump through multiverses. Maybe he's utilizing her to get, to be able to go over to get Franklin Richards, to go and get Thor's child, to go to all these different places to be able to set up his big plan.
Another thought is TVA too. Like that would be a huge asset for the TVA to just kind of like push their efforts further, is having this person who could get maybe a specific person in the area that they want to, especially if Doom were to attack the TVA. If that were to be something where they were to be down their capacities that they normally have, having somebody like America Chavez there to kind of help make up for where Doom crippled you isn't necessarily a bad
They
idea
already
either.
technically have the abilities to already travel, though.
I'm saying is, if Doom cripples that,
or what if the
having
TVA
someone
is
like
after America Chavez
will be great.
But okay, I'll do you one better. What if the TVA is after America Chavez for doing all this jumping, because they always try and fix the multiversal timeline?
She can't because it's only one version of America Chavez.
I get that, but she's jumping all over the place.
Yeah, it doesn't impact the universes that she travels to, because it's only one America Chavez in the whole entire multiverse.
Do you think that would be
a point though? Wouldn't that be like
outline?
But my thing
wouldn't that be
is,
somewhere you like, yo, everybody else got a fucking doppelganger in the multiverse except this shorty jumping through the multiverse?
But what? Okay, the TVA, their job is to restore the timeline or make sure everything's straight. What if she does something to alert them and mess up the timeline at that point, which is a possibility. And let me finish my thought, Sage, because I know you're about to jump in on me. What if she does something by accident? The TVA is after her, but she finds solace in Doom, who saves her from the TVA, and she starts working for him. That's a possibility. Waiting for
I
your
think it's a lot
response,
of.
sir.
I think it's just a lot of utilizations that America Chavez should have to why she should not be a footnote. And either maybe if it's not going to be Doomsday, then in Secret Wars. But between both films, she should not be a footnote.
This
All
man doing
right.
his research right now. I'm
Yeah,
waiting
I
for
know
him to
he
say
doing the
something. I hear
Dexter's
the tap tap.
Laboratory.
I hear the tap tap.
Not at all. Symbiote suit. Oh, back to Alex Perez. Symbiote suit Tom Holland eventually wears will be alien or cloth like. It's alien, literally copy and paste of the Thomas Ducrest concept art with a few minor alterations. If you're not familiar with that, it's close to the Spider-Man 2 game symbiote suit, kind of. It's more so like the suit is alive, which I'm generally interested in seeing. Do you think that the events of Avengers Secret Wars would serve as an elegant way to end the memory spell and restore Peter Parker's relationships? I'm basing this on Miles Morales' story in Secret Wars, closing out plot threads of the multiverse saga, and whether a memory restoration at the end of Spider-Man Brand New Day may be too soon. Alex, with the universe being destroyed and reset, the spell will ultimately be broken. The memory spell was mainly a way to keep the universes at bay. Michael, do you have any new details about the characters directly connected to Spidey, not the Punisher or Hulk, in Spider-Man Brand New Day that you can share with us? Ned and MJ will be thriving in MIT, but something keeps calling them back to their home. Hope you're doing and have the best. Are the Thunderbolts going to be relevant outside the Avengers post-Secret Wars? Yes, but they're going to be headed back into the morally gray area as opposed to being heroes. Interesting. Hey Alex, hope all is well. Any chance the Inhumans are reintroduced to the MCU anytime soon? Interestingly enough, there is a chance, yes. A lot of comic stuff will be pushed at the forefront. Cosmic stuff will be pushed at the forefront for this next saga, including Eternals, the Celestials, the Shi'ar, etc. Comic book films, don't care about that. Will there be more special presentations going forward? Yes. Hey Alex, will we see a crossover event with the Marvel television shows like Devil's Reign? Thanks. That is a possibility they have considered, but then they ask why not make it a movie instead of a Disney Plus show? Any chances to see more of Rio and Agatha soon? Yes to Agatha. Rio is uncertain. As for supernatural, cosmic, street level, and mutant sides of the universe, how do you expect we see those overlap and interact with each other in the future? Isolated side stories that won't interconnect until the big blockbuster end of the world story hits. And that is it for the Alex Perez. Also, to reply to Jay's comment from earlier, we might not see Baron Mordo working with Doom, but if you're familiar with the Secret Wars comic, Jonathan Hickman, that's the most recent Secret Wars storyline that Marvel has released. Doctor Strange actually is the one assisting Doctor Doom in his quest to try and save the multiverse. So we might still get the same thing with this one, as we haven't been privy to Doctor Strange's antics since Multiverse of Madness.
I'm gonna be honest with you too. I kind of like the idea of Scarlet Witch, like if she's not dead or that he somehow
Doctor Doom
saved
could
her.
be using her. Yeah.
I really think that's just a clean.
Mhm.
You know, instead of going a strange route, which I understand is comic accurate, allow some uniqueness for the MCU and just let that replacement be the Scarlet Witch.
He could use both, technically.
He could.
And that'd be even crazier.
The breakdown as to how we get from where we left off with Strange to him partnering with Doom.
Mhm.
I just would need some type of explanation kind of given in that regard. Whereas with Scarlet Witch is like she kind of a free agent.
Uh-huh. I think from Doom's aspect, how these leaks have been coming out recently, there's been a lot of leaks that's been dropping in regards to like the story, potentially for Doomsday, and how they're setting it up. How most of the leaks are setting it up is Doom is really trying to come off as a hero to a lot of these people to enact his plan.
But he always
And
does, doesn't he?
he always does that in the comics, and that's what makes him such a compelling. Because he teeters the line kind of anti-hero, but we all know at the end of the day he's a villain. Because of his methods, usually most of the time, it's just so extreme. But how they're coming off, he's really supposed to be coming off as a hero. So I could see him being able to teeter the line to be able to appease not only Wanda but also Doctor Strange and his motive and goals at the end.
Man, that's two heavy hitters to have on your team. If he's supposed to
Mhm.
have his own Avengers team,
Mhm.
that's already kind of setting a precedent in regards to it's not enough to combat the Avengers, but if we know we got those two, and then we could potentially have more that we don't know who that exactly would be at this point, but maybe various Avengers or various X-Men that kind of also go on to his side. Yeah, now you kind of evening out those numbers.
It's moving quite spooky for the folks. I'm curious how they are going to land this. But that was it for Alex Perez. We can finish up. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, just quick question too. In regards to the Spider-Man symbiote, he said like it's for sure happening. And
Yeah.
Secret Wars, I imagined it would be. I just wanted to
He didn't say specifically Secret Wars. He just said that the arc is going to happen. A symbiote arc is happening.
It's definitely happening in Secret
Supposedly, I seen some leaks saying that what's his name? Alan Richmond is going to play Eddie Brock.
No.
Or Alan Rickman.
It's just so weird with Tom. It's just so weird with Tom Holland. It looked like child abuse. I'm just saying.
He could play Eddie Brock because that nigga Eddie Brock in the comics is massive in comparison to Peter Parker.
Yeah,
And
but Tom
the
Holland,
recent
Peter
one,
Parker still act like a prepubescent fucking cuckold.
but Spider-Man always act like that. To be honest with you,
That nigga, no. Spider-Man is a nerd and makes jokes and does shit. This nigga relies on his friends in Stark Tech, and he's the type of nigga that only eat cheese pizza. A fucking softy.
Please let this get clipped.
Yeah,
this nigga was about to kill.
Cheese
This nigga was about to kill
and
Green
Tom
Goblin.
Holland and Eddie Brock. It just looks so out of place. It's like Tom Holland needs somebody that's like what's the chef from The Bear? Somebody like that to be Eddie Brock.
Oh no.
Somebody that looks disheveled. Somebody that looks like they can be Tom Holland, but somebody a little bit older. Having Alan Richardson in that role is like that's like having.
I think that'd be a great cast.
No, he's like he could be like the landlord or something. That's just weird.
The landlord
in his apartment building or something. I don't know.
That his venom would be actually menacing. It would rectify everything that they have done.
It would be cool, but I just want like a more athletic build, grown manish.
That's
Spider-Man for that.
The athletic as hell.
Bro, I'm sorry, but Tom Holland is just not. It's not
It'd be
enough.
Perfect.
It's not enough. It just looked like. It just looked weird on a screen. It looked like a grown man beating a child.
Keep in mind though, we still haven't seen Brand New Day. He's going up against the Hulk, so he might be able to look a little bit. He looked a little bit more adept to be able to deal with the Alan Richardson Venom if he's fighting Savage Hulk.
If this new movie he still look like he 5'7", 140 pounds soaking wet.
Where did y'all see him looking more built?
For him.
And I'm saying
the stuff that we've seen, like
you talking about the official joint where he came out with the suit and said, "Okay, let's start filming." Where he looked like he was going to a fucking anime cosplay convention. Yeah, I get I'm kind of on what's the brother name that commented? JET. I'm on your side.
Right.
I got Marvel fatigue.
5'8" and 145 pounds. Like, bro,
I've been having Marvel fatigue for so long, but I try not to be negative because everybody say I only got negative shit to say. Anyway, Tom Holland
Keep saying that negative stuff, big dog.
Tom Holland Spider-Man fighting Alan Richardson as Venom would be so stupid.
That shit would feed families, generations, dog.
No, it would not.
Yes, it would. Eddie
No, it
Brock
would
like
not.
It just
that,
would feel
dog.
weird,
He
bro.
he
It's such
reminds
a
me.
size difference
He
that
reminds me
like, you know how
specifically.
something just kind of get like awkward. It would get awkward. That's more of an awkward scenario. See, okay, let's go to Scorpion as an example, who we know Tom Holland is fighting in this. That's more like if you put Tom Holland versus like a regular sized guy, like a average size guy, it works fine. You know, even if that guy is significantly older, or it works fine. But if you put him against somebody who literally looked like they could be a tight end on a football team against Tom Holland, it's
It'd
just
be
gonna
great.
look awkward.
It'd be
No.
great.
And Niall, it's this Alan Richardson. If it was the Thad Castle from Blue Mountain State, cool.
Yeah. Because
You
the
got-
younger
Yeah.
would help. It'll help. Like to your point, that's exactly. Thank you, D. It's kind of a double combo here with Alan Rickson or Rickman, whatever his name is. It's the age and the size. Whereas if you just took one of those away, it will work. But
So if they
he got
de-age him,
both of
he'd be
them.
good.
But
If you took the younger version, right, who still was a big guy, he was a skinnier, but he still was he still was him, right? If you took that guy and had him face off against Tom Holland, to D's point, yeah, I could see that working more. They closer in age. I could see that vibing. Or if you took like if you had to use somebody older, but you just took a regular size guy, like somebody closer to a regular frame, then that could work. But it's that combo of age and size with Allen.
Exactly, bro.
It's just it's too awkward, bro. It would make me feel like kind of cringy a little bit seeing that, especially because there would be a point where like Venom would get the upper hand. It really would look like a grown man beating a teenager.
Yeah, that'd be beautiful to see. That'd be beautiful to see. All right,
T
I
coming
guess I'm
back.
alone
You
in that.
muted T.
What? What is? Yo, you got child abuse on your mind?
No,
Does
and
FTK run through your brain?
What I'm basing this off of, I remember back in the day, PlayStation 2, they came out with an Ultimate Spider-Man game. All of these villains, it was based on the Ultimate Spider-Man comics, if I'm not mistaken. This was at the time where they were trying to make the Ultimate Universe kind of like a carbon copy of the real world. So they made like Rhino not have an actual Rhino body, but it was more mechanical. Venom was a lot more menacing, and I think that they used that and brought it back over to the main continuity for Spider-Man, and that's where we got like a King in Black where Eddie Brock is just massive. So that's what I'm basing it off of, because I've seen how massive like Eddie Brock is in comparison in the comics too, and it just made the fight between him and Spider-Man when he turns Venom and he's even bigger that much more impactful. Like, damn, this nigga Spider-Man taking blows from this big ass nigga, and yet he's surviving and beating him.
Hey,
That's
I
just
get
me.
the thrill element to it.
D,
I do
me and
get
you
that.
on the same. Me and you on the same thought, dog.
yes, you're on the same page.
Like I get what he's saying, because like when you do look at the games and you do look at like a lot of the iterations in the comic books, there is a massive difference between their size. And so being able to get that to translate in a movie, I can understand the idea of the thrill, Sage, but I think realistically and practicality wise, when you bring that into a live action frame of work, it looks a lot more awkward. Like you could almost digest it, but you can almost digest it easier with animation or comic book. But again, when it's something about the idea of it being like a human being, like you and I, and then you seeing this happen in this way that
Okay.
Now, again, if Tom Holland was like slender, athletic build, like a athlete, like a track runner or something like that, like a slender, tall, athletic build, you could pull it off, I think, a lot more. But he's 5'8", 145 pounds. It's it just don't it doesn't translate the same way that if they do something like that in a video game or if they do something like that in a comic book, it doesn't translate the same visually seeing that.
I know we can talk about this for a second, but it only don't translate because of how his Spider-Man has been portrayed. Because we've seen Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man take on a lizard that had claws that could have easily split him in half. You see what I'm saying? But we see how he fought like a spider. We see how he didn't have to rely on a team of people. When you got Tom Holland's Spider-Man relying on fucking Ned and Mary Jane and Stark Tech and Happy Hogan and Aunt May and talking about Avengers and shit, it's like, all right, like he needs too much in order to face somebody like this. That's why I wish they wasn't in this damn movie.
I do agree with you that I do hope that as time progresses, we get more of a, but I know we aren't. You know, it's one of those things where I know we aren't. It's time to introduce
Harry and Gwen and Felicia Hardy and some other people. We had enough of Ned. That nigga's not playing a hobgoblin.
I don't think we're gonna get that in this iteration. I hear you, I agree, but I don't think we're gonna get it.
Nobody wants to see that nigga play the hobgoblin, bro.
Yeah.
Destin Daniel Cretton has signed on to direct Spider-Man 5 and 6, according to...
I mean, he knocked this shit
I
out.
don't think that's a bad thing. I kind of like it when they stick, because if it works, if the next movie, Brand New Day, works, I prefer that they stick with that guy. If it's like if it works. And like, I ain't talking about Taika Waititi Thor, because that didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, that didn't work. They needed to stop doing that. It just didn't work. But if this guy works, yeah, I would prefer they keep him. And it seems like he's getting an elevated role.
He directed Shang-Chi before?
Shang-Chi and Wonder Man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Wonder Man. If Wonder Man is any good, that's going to be also on. I hope so. Because my thing is this.
8 episode premiere.
It looks like they want to use him. What'd you say, D?
8 episode premiere for Wonder Man. They just did that nigga shady.
That's all of the episodes, right? Yeah, I mean, we've seen that before. Netflix has done things like that. I don't think that's too. But I really hope Wonder Man is good, because it looks like they elevating this guy. Like, they want him to be more involved in Marvel roles. So if he can prove that he can crush it on a TV series and as well a movie, something that, as far as I know, I can't think of anybody. I'm sure there is, but I just can't think of anybody who's done both in this Marvel cinematic and, live action universe. If he can do that and do it successfully at both angles, and they elevating him, that does help with the hope for the future with Marvel content. So I'm really hoping that Wonder Man is good, knowing that he did it.
We might as well, since we're already here, we might as well segue on to that, and we can pull up the trailer, the most recent one that just dropped. This is the trailer that everybody's been talking about. A lot of good vibes from this trailer. And then we could talk about more about his powers and just how powerful this nigga can be. If they stay true to the comics. But yeah, Wonder Man trailer.
This is the wall. It's everything. If I get this close and I miss,
I'm gonna need you to sign this to confirm you don't have superpowers.
yeah. I need to be in this movie. Shaw, I was born to play this character.
Acting is the sum of everything you've experienced. The joy, sadness, loss, heartbreak.
The Department of Damage Control considers Simon Williams an extraordinary threat.
What?
Are you gonna use super speed or what?
I'm gonna use my car, Trevor.
Does that mean you do or do not have super speed? Let's go!
All right, so like D was saying, it's an 8 episode premiere dropping January 27th. JETN said in the comments, wait, so Candyman, I'm guessing this is the actor who played Candyman, the most recent one,
Yep.
is whom now? He's playing Wonder Man. In the comics, he was a white man, a part of the West Coast Avengers. He had ionic-based powers. I believe it was given to him by, damn, what's the dude from Civil War, the secret villain? Baron Zemo.
Baron Zemo.
Baron Zemo supposedly put him through tests, and he was supposed to infiltrate the Avengers and kind of like double cross them. Eventually, becomes a part of the Avengers, helps co-found the West Coast Avengers, if I'm not mistaken. And his power set is so all over the place. I'm not gonna lie, I was quite surprised once I figured it out. Supposedly he could go toe to toe with Sentry. He's gone toe to toe with other characters, I believe, or have rival strength feats in comparison to those like Namor, even the Hulk. He can fly eventually with his powers. He could also shoot beams out of his eyes, just like Superman.
Yeah,
At
I was
some
gonna
point
say
in
he kind
time,
of like the Superman-esque character in a way.
yeah, kind of. Not the. He's still super durable, has superhuman strength, superhuman speed, all of that jazz, everything that you could think of. But he's basically like JETN has said, another sleeper agent like Winter Soldier. He's even stronger than Winter Soldier, to be honest with you. He's kind of reminding me or getting up there somewhat to a Blue Marvel type of level. And what I was generally gonna come from the consensus, if this show is good, is I'll have a lot more confidence in Marvel doing a Blue Marvel type character, since Blue Marvel and Wonder Man don't necessarily have the most stories written about them in the comics. Sure, they do have stories, but it's not the most fleshed out stories like you have for a Captain America, Iron Man, a Black Panther, a Spider-Man, so on and so forth. So, if they do good, we're kind of like doing a twist of his original comic book origin or his comic book storyline. But if they do that, then hopefully they could do a Blue Marvel. But how y'all feeling about it?
I'm like leading up to this, I wasn't sure how it was gonna go, but once this recent trailer dropped, it has me very interested in the storyline. And all 8 are dropping in one shot, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll be able to binge this. And okay, um, I like. I'm trying to figure out how he's gonna get his powers. Is it off emotion that it just pops up, or will he be doing the acting thing and then just something happens and he gets the powers? That's where I'm a little
I
confused
think
at.
it's more the second.
A lot of people are speculating that he might already have his powers. Like
The
some part of
trailer
the
makes me
trailer,
feel that way. Yeah.
he's already had his powers and he's just trying to hide them. And niggas was
Yeah.
like, hey, make sure before you sign that waiver that you don't have any superpowers because of the Doorman Act. A lot of people speculating that Doorman is going to make his appearance too. He's a arch nemesis or villain or half brother, step brother, I can't remember, of Wonder Man in the comics. Interesting. But yeah,
I
he
know
might.
it's gonna be. Oh no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
No, go
interrupt
ahead.
you. Well, I know it's gonna be kind of like a metatextual in regards to Marvel's difficulties as
Recent, as of recent.
like it look, it's fine if they want to do a series like that. I'm cool with that. Um but I do think that like I'm gonna be disappointed if the series doesn't point towards something larger and a little bit more serious with
Yeah.
Wonder Man. Like if this is something where okay, yes, the introduction is something where they kind of focus on different areas, cool, whatever. Just getting the character out there, cool, whatever. But as to your point, Sage, this is somebody who is recognized as being a part of the West Coast Avengers. Haven't there be something that develops from it again that can have a little bit more serious stakes to it. We're not gonna have the classic Avengers probably for a little while. You know, we might have characters that pop up. You know, like we might like if we don't see characters like Thor or Hulk outside of a major event and movies that are around a major event,
Yeah.
then the groups that we do have, we need to have strong performances from. Thunderbolts did good this year, or excuse me, last year. Thunderbolts did good. Um, that momentum needs to be built, and one of the reasons why I think Thunderbolts did well was because it did have more of a serious tone, and it was able to show. It was in them having that serious tone and narrative. They were, excuse me, they were able to flesh out a lot of characters, introduce new characters, progress the story forward with a lot of characters. Wonder Man, again, if the focus isn't necessarily on truly developing out the character of Wonder Man and Simon Williams, I think the name is,
Yeah.
if that is not the focus in this first outing, I can forgive it. But I just don't want like the theme for this character to be one where there's always kind of a agenda that's larger than what you're trying to tell with the character. Just don't personally, I don't want that. That's the only I hope that the ending of the series can push us towards that larger what will become a larger telling and a larger role for this character. Whether that be we see him in Secret Wars, or whatever. It sets him up for even the next saga if that's the way that they go. I'd be cool with that, but I just really don't. There's been too many instances where, to DM my point, it feels like the humor is more of a theme than the story that they actually are trying to tell around the
Yes.
character. And that's just one example. There's multiple other examples where there's certain dynamics that take precedent over the narrative of the character. And I just am tired. I don't think that that's been a very successful path for Marvel, and they need to get away from it. So you want to do a metatextual story with him now while you still kind of figuring things out, cool. But that's gotta end. It's gotta end. Whether it's humor, whether it's meta context, whether it's they trying to tackle certain themes around cultures and groups and whatnot. Like, it's fine. I'm not saying that we don't need to, that we can't have the an exploration into the different cultures and the different backgrounds and things that affect the character. I just need the comic book side and the character within the comic book side to have a little bit more importance. So I don't know. And I'm not going to say that we can't get that in this, and that maybe I'm overreading it based off the trailer, and the information that's been given so far. But I'm just getting tired of it personally.
So Jay just came
JET is
out.
that. Yep.
I got you. Where the heck is Adam Warlock 2, by the way? Too many characters like that now that are pretty OP. Saw how Vision and Captain Marvel were sidelined in Infinity War and Endgame. Adam Warlock is wherever James Gunn left the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Facts.
So I don't think we're getting Adam Warlock for a while, unless Kevin Feige wants to pull him from that stone world that they live on, stone face world. So
It could with Cosmic Side. I'm pretty sure they'll be a lot more inclined to bring in Guardians. It could assist in branching out the Cosmic Side storyline of things.
I think it'll be the Guardians though. It might be
Probably
like
not the Guardians.
another kind
But
of mock-up
seeing
team.
how strong Adam Warlock is, that when Guardians 3 came out, he was just a baby. But it's like, bro, after years and years, like we say with America Chavez, like they've had years of off-screen development. Like, these are characters you've introduced were in the comics. It's like, okay, they need to play an integral part of this film. Somebody like Adam Warlock, like he mentioned, Vision, Captain Marvel. It's like, and then I'm like, for Kevin Feige to come out and be like, Captain Marvel is the most powerful person in the MCU now. And then she's given these bullshit movies, and it's like, all right, so where is she? Where is her big role in this upcoming Avengers movie? And it's just like, okay, I guess not.
Just a confirmation too. The actress for America Chavez did verify that she is in Doomsday.
Kevin Feige about to send her a bullet in the mail.
She had to be tight-lipped. This was back in August. So she already said she was very reluctant on saying too much more. So it leads me to believe that she might be playing some type of pivotal role. Tell you, y'all gonna have the niggas on the Twitters and everything up in arms.
I mean, listen, the only thing that they gotta do is tell a good story and utilize the characters in ways where their personal development and story makes sense, while the overall story that they're trying to tell also makes sense. That's just the thing that Marvel needs. They need to make sure that they capitalize on. I do believe in the Russo brothers to be able to draw those elements out probably better than anybody else at Marvel. Um, and them being a part of the next saga really makes me feel good. But like that's the thing, man. Like here's the thing: when you read the comic books, right? Sage, I know how much you talk about Hickman. Like when we go through a Hickman story as an example, one of the stories that you and I both really enjoy, XE. Okay, let me use this as an example. In that story, there was a moment where Wolverine and Nightcrawler had to have a moment. Now, throughout the history of the comic books, they always have kind of had a more unique bond. But then to have them be able to get to the point where in AXE, they're able to kind of vocalize it in this serious mission that they know they likely will not be coming back from. That's a very powerful development. While also at the same time, it had a huge repercussion within the actual story that AXE was sharing.
Mhm.
That's the type of stuff that I would like to see translated more throughout the MCU. And if they can, my hypothesis is if Marvel can do more things like that, where they can flesh out these relationships, flesh out the character development, while at the same time advancing a good story, we in good hands. But if there's too many other elements and pieces that kind of come into play, or to the point that this conversation was off of with characters like Captain Marvel and characters like Adam Warlock, where they're kind of put on the back burner, where we have this constant thing where characters aren't developed upon further, and
Mhm.
or they're developed upon in a very scattered way. The only character who I could be forgiving for that for is the Hulk, because of the real life rights issue, where it might be a little bit more trickier in regards to how they can actually tell the story of Hulk, Namor, certain characters that we know that there's rights tied up in, Kingpin. But there's a litany of characters that do not have this challenge, and we cannot keep giving a piece of their story for a specific thing that they're trying to drive and not develop that character further. Or when the next time we see that character, like to Dee's point, in the case of Captain Marvel, we get told that this character is the strongest character in the universe at this point. But then there's nothing else with that. It's just kind of like this bullet point, and then you telling a story around that bullet point, but you never have added points to that bullet point for that, you know what I'm saying, for that character, in a way where it kind of makes the story stronger. You just have this character that it's not the standard that we used to with comic book characters. Take movies out of the equation for a moment. It's not the standard that we used to with comic book characters, especially when we see them in comic books. We need to come up to that standard. That's how I feel.
And I feel like low key, when you have somebody like, I just thought about it, like to Rob's point, the America Chavez joint. A lot of people don't like the character, whatever. A lot of people not fans of Captain Marvel, but they damn sure not fans of people of color. So when you put Captain Marvel with an Indian girl and a black girl, we not getting no white people to get to these movies. And if you white and you went to the movie, thanks. But it's like, bro, like if you trying to get these characters to like be the most powerful and all of this and that, don't focus on hitting these targets of, okay, well, we got this character, we gotta hit this quota and put somebody of color in there, or put somebody from this community in there and do this and this. It's like, yo, focus on this character to build upon. That Marvel's movie could have been better. People say it wasn't that bad, but if you say she's the most powerful character, and then you got her with fucking Kamala Khan and Monica Rambeau, and they just switching bodies, and then they fighting Tom Hiddleston's wife, everybody's like, all right, like, this is not what we thought we'd have our fucking blonde hair, blue eyed superheroine doing.
Yeah, and you don't really get any. It's not really
And there's no
any
development
solid
in that.
progression. Yeah,
Damn, we ain't had no progression with Shang-Chi though either though. And people excited to see him.
it just hasn't. It's because I think that's the issue that Marvel's faced, and I think that's the issue where a lot of the backlash comes from. Is they are just hitting on a point. So D brought it, said it very well. There's this idea of satisfying a quota as opposed to the actual development, and it hasn't done them enough justice. To be honest with you, I think a lot of these characters, like, were people up in arms about them. Yes, is there going to be a group that's always out there that's going to have that's going to be up in their arms? I call them the basement dwellers. Or is there always going to be people like that? For sure. But I do think it's a lot of people who just kind of gravitate to the basement dweller side of the conversation because the development for the characters is not one that they can respect. Whereas if they did actually make proper progress and proper development with these characters more, and look, if we're gonna be introducing all of these characters, it can't just be Spider-Man, it can't just be Thor, it can't just be the heavy hitters. You bringing in all of these characters, you need to develop these characters. So I think that's the part that has hurt Marvel, is that they just kind of trying to, like, to D's point, satisfy a quota of diversity and different things. Not saying that it's wrong. Not saying that them doing that is wrong. But I just don't think that it should neglect from the stories of these characters themselves. You got to put a lot of oomph behind that. And I don't know.
You see, real quick, I know we've been on this topic for a minute, but when the first Avengers came out, it's an all-white cast except Samuel L. Jackson. We didn't sit up there and like, how dare they not have no niggas in there fighting crime, fighting aliens? It was because we had all these characters that had the development in these movies. And it wasn't like
Yeah.
Iron Man 2 had to have some goofy ass character come in and do some shit. We got introduced to Black Widow in her movie, introduced to Hawkeye in the Thor movie with like 3 minutes of screen time, 30 minutes of screen time for Black Widow, or like 15 minutes or whatever. And now it's like, no, we need Kamala Khan in this movie. And then in this movie, we need to make sure we have somebody in here. And it's like, yo, like even with these Tom Holland shits, his character don't fully feel like Spider-Man, because it's like, make sure we get MJ in there. Oh yeah, make MJ brown, and make Ned a brown dude, and make this person black. And hold on, we gotta represent this person in this group. It's like, bro, just tell the fucking Spider-Man story, goddammit. Because all these years later, don't nobody care about Zendaya as MJ.
To be fair enough, MJ is a pivotal role in Spider-Man's
And what
character
in Spider-Man, she's
comics.
a pivotal role. And what have we gotten from fucking, what's this girl's name? What have we gotten from Zendaya's MJ? Somebody tell me 2 things she's done in this shit.
I
The
mean,
only thing that she really brought was like a different energy, because she wasn't your typical MJ.
yeah,
Exactly. She was some nonchalant brown.
But when we talk
mixed
about the
girl.
same thing in comics, what's something that MJ has done in the comics?
But still, it's Rob. Not a thing, and I've been
No,
thank you. Not a thing. I've been saying
that's
that.
the thing though, is like, in the comics you got instances where like, not even
The
not even go to
relation.
the
Naya,
comics.
hold on. The relationship dynamic when you see Tom Holland and I keep forgetting this girl's fucking name. God damn.
Zendaya.
Yeah, MJ, Zendaya. It's like, yo, the chemistry is not there. And it's like, oh, let's get this big actress in there so we can get some asses in these seats with these people. And it's like, Zendaya's not bringing people to see fucking Spider-Man when all she does is sit there with a straight face and, my name's Michelle Jones. Yeah, so what, Peter? Yeah, you're a dork. You're a nerd. Ha ha ha. Whatever. And then all of a sudden she likes the nigga. Then we get this fucking Filipino dude sitting here like he's some fucking hacker. And it's like, what the fuck? Okay, you got a white dude from Queens with 2 friends of color. And it's like, yo, when people think of Spider-Man, think of Harry Osborn. Don't give a fuck about Ned. And we think of MJ, he's dating MJ. This seems like a girl that's a sidekick. That's just some girl from his neighborhood that he knows. She seems like she's part of a friend group and not Peter's girl. I'll be damned if I'm a superhero and my girl is sitting there behind the screen with some other nigga while I'm out damn near about to lose my life. No, bitch, you going, oh, excuse me. No, shorty, you going home. Let him direct me in these streets by himself. You was not finna be in no computer room with Ned doing while I'm out here fighting crime. It's like, bro, it feels like that's so Raven. It feels like a friend group. And it feels like one is just fighting crime, and then that's it. This MJ sucks. This Ned sucks.
J18 said they gave too much Flash too.
Yeah. What the fuck was that? Flash is some Habibi nigga now? You see what I'm talking about when I'm talking about diversity? They like, yo, just throw in some Indian dude in there. Throw in the Filipino man. Make sure MJ is a black woman. And then what do we have? We got all these YouTube channels talking about some, how dare they turn our fucking Mary J. I'm about to say Mary J. Blige, our Mary Jane Watson into some fucking chicken bone sucker. How dare they have all these fucking Negroes taking our fucking B character?
Chicken bone sucker is crazy.
That's exactly what they saying. They want us to have side characters, but only as side characters. They want us to say they want the Falcons to stay Falcons. They want all of that. They want the Valkyries to say Valkyries. When you got Valkyrie, black and queer, becoming King Valkyrie of Asgard, white people are going to fucking riot.
I really genuinely don't have an issue with them diversifying though. Like and again, I know that there's basement dwellers that just care because the characters changed. But I think the issue, using Spider-Man as an example, you have all of these different iterations of diversity, right? In the movie. But to Dee's point, they don't really serve a strong purpose. They're his friends, but they don't really like, it's nothing really memorable to your point about them. If these characters were really fleshed out and were given development that made sense for the development in Peter Parker, and also again had a strong role in the actual narrative, the telling of the narrative as well, then it'd be one that I think that would make a lot of the difference. That make people say, okay, Ned is not a focal point in a Spider-Man comic book, or this Flash or this MJ is not a focal point in a Spider-Man comic book like it is here in the MCU, but they're doing a good job of weaving those characters and the importance of those characters. And I mean, it's like you said, if it's just kind of like That's So Raven, where yeah, we know they are good friends, that it's not enough to like make it worth it, you know?
Yeah,
if you're gonna do it, make it worth it.
Like, bro, like with Tobey Maguire's Mary Jane, she was off doing her own stuff. She was on Broadway. She was working. The dynamic was different because it was like she found out later he was Spider-Man. You know, it was like he could still focus on being Spider-Man and not worrying about her. And now it's like, what did MJ know? He was Spider-Man since the first movie or something. And it's like, oh yeah, let me join your team. And it's like, okay, you're not a sidekick to Spider-Man.
Nah, yeah. It's
No.
maybe, like, again, I don't think that it was a terrible thing in terms of let's do it this way. I just think the execution of it is one where it doesn't really make it lasting or memorable. Now, granted, they still could. These characters that they use in this direction that they went, they could end up tying it all together. In these next films, we know that they're going to be in these next films. They still could, but again, all we have is what we have so far. You can't really go off anything that they do in the future. And I do agree. You asked me to give you a memorable moment with MJ that justifies the usage of her in this film. I can't really give you one, or Ned, or Flash. I can't. I can't. If it were, I'd be able to. It's not okay. Shuri and her brother, T'Challa, right?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't obviously the direction that they wanted to go into, but the idea of her technological background and the assist that she was able to provide for her brother in the first Black Panther movie, And then the transition from her in that role to the transition of her as Black Panther, it made her role as somebody who assisted Black Panther one that pushed the narrative further. It drove the narrative a little bit more. It again wasn't necessarily the direction that they wanted to go into, but it still went into that direction, and it was one where you could justify the usage of that character in the role that they were in. You know what I'm saying? But you can't do that with a lot of other characters in the MCU. And that's love or hate, you know, Shuri and whatever. I'm not worried about how much we love the character or happy the characters in a row. It's not really a discussion point on that for me personally. But again, make them worth it. You know, if you're going to use them, make them worth it. And that example with T'Challa and Black Panther and Shuri, I think that they at least made the character worth it. Yeah. I don't know if I get that. Because now I'm sitting here thinking about M'Baku. Like, is M'Baku a character that's worth having as much time as he's had in the
Yes.
Black Panther movies? Was it worth it?
Massa. Yes. They let
You know,
the
honestly, I
thing
think
is
I agree
about
with
him,
that.
they let him stand out. Like when they had that call,
Yeah.
it was something that was so iconic that yeah, we had Chadwick Boseman play a great Black Panther. God rest his soul. But you had M'Baku stand out. Everybody like how do I explain this? He didn't really have a prominent role, but he did enough for him to have more screen time in Black Panther 2. Because people wanted to see M'Baku.
Yeah,
They
and then on
made
top
him
of
like
that,
this.
it's the role that, like you said, though, it's the
Yeah.
role that he had in the first one. He was the guy who had to challenge Black Panther. That was his first role. Then also this idea of ushering and Shuri into in the second one, ushering Shuri into the being at least a part of Shuri being ushered into the role that she has to take up as being the Black Panther now. It puts a level of importance behind that character, and then it also showed like there's a lot of development shown through that. There's like Ryan Coogler get it, he do get it right. Maybe I shouldn't say Russo brothers. I've been saying it before though. I think that they should be giving they should be trying to hire Ryan Coogler for the everything. Hey, you are Mr. Marvel in my opinion, but he probably don't want to do that either. But I think that he has done for the supporting cast in the films, maneuvering a way for those characters to have importance while also furthering the story and the larger narrative and the main character's personal development. I think that he's done a good job with the supporting cast there. But it just doesn't happen every time and that's what I'm saying is like it's kind of a hodgepodge of different things because I think that's where the humor also started. Like they got a humor quota. Like we talking about a diversity quota, but that's probably one that's just as large, if not more large, is the humor quota. And I get it. Humor is a big element that's helpful in the success of your films, especially ones when they're done by people like James Gunn. But I don't think that you have to put so much emphasis in it. Just as I don't think you have to put as much emphasis in having a supporting cast that you're not going to necessarily utilize to the fullest. I see Sage, but I don't see Sage.
Yeah, my camera is messing up. I don't know why.
Okay, I didn't know whether he was there or not. Do you got any points on this though? I feel like y'all wrong.
Why does it seem like, side note, every time we say something, it's like he got to combat us like we're wrong.
You
He's
just
always
disagree.
right. He always
I
You can
disagrees.
disagree.
He disagrees with
disagree.
everything. We
Is in Marvel is paying Robert. The amount of arguing Rob does with us when we just stating facts, it'd be like, all right, nigga.
I wish. I can understand it, but I also give them grace to understand also why they didn't use specific characters or why we haven't seen more of America Chavez.
And that's the issue
But you
right
can't give-
there. You can't give
I
them
can't give
grace.
these niggas grace.
You can't
because
do that.
I can give them grace because one, their main villain that they were going to use ended up aggressively throwing a white woman in a van and getting plastered all over a legal situation for the world to see. I could give them grace for that. I could give them grace for Bob Iger and his dumbass forcing them to create nonstop content for Disney Plus, even though Bob Iger knew niggas was not in the right frame of mind to be able to do that shit. Reason why we got Secret Invasions. Reason why we got all of them other shows and movies that was just ass.
Rob,
I can't blame them for the writer strike. I can't blame them for the actor strike that also happened during COVID time, where we got a lot of these ass movies.
these niggas replaced Terrence Howard with Don Cheadle.
I thought that was a pretty decent change up.
Yeah, I didn't have.
It's a very noticeable change up.
Very
You
noticeable.
mean to tell me they couldn't replace Kang
with another
somebody like Jonathan Boyega?
I think it's because they had so much.
Listen though,
shit. They had so much shit. The light skinned nigga had one movie. They had Kang not only in Loki Part 1, Loki Part 2, and Quantumania. They had him in multiple things.
Rob, but they had Kang. Just like you said,
easy.
they had Kang. They didn't have, yes, Jonathan Majors was playing Kang, but they still had the character of Kang who could have been recasted. People know, okay, you want to assault people, boom, boom, cool, you done with Marvel?
I think
Kang is replaced. We have that. Don't sit up here at Fall H and show Kang Dynasty and then backpedal because you're the fucking head at Marvel and say, you know what, Kang doesn't really, we thought about it and nah, it doesn't really work. You thought about it?
I think
nigga, you thought about that and backpedal, but then you greenlit Love and Thunder? You greenlit Multiverse of Madness? Bro, if it was, I bet you if Tom Hiddleston
Multiverse of Madness was good. It was.
I didn't hate that. I didn't hate Multiverse of Madness. It wasn't.
It was cool.
It wasn't Quantumania.
If it came out Tom Hiddleston smacked the dentures out of his wife, they would be like, you know what? People make mistakes. Fuck it. Give him a 2-year hiatus and we gonna bring Loki back. The shit James Gunn was saying, making rape jokes. Granted, it was years ago. They said we gonna fire him. Wait a minute, the cast said they want him back. Okay, we'll bring James Gunn back. Fuck it. We'll give him a 2-month little hiatus and we'll bring him back because we know he gonna bring in that money. But when they got a nigga at the helm and he got to defend himself against one of these ice queens, they say, no, we're going to get rid of your whole arc. The whole character got to fucking go.
I'm not agreeing with the punishment, but at the same time, Marvel, again, was already, when we look at the leaks, when I'm looking at the leaks and everything that they have said, where they have said, even in the midst of Kang Dynasty, they always wanted to use Dr. Doom as the final bad for Secret Wars.
So I don't even want them to address Kang. I want to act like that should never happen because all of a sudden, if you want to backpedal,
because niggas was just not too long ago saying if they don't have Kang in Doomsday, that's gonna be too big.
But if they wanted to use
plot hole to be leaving,
if they wanted to use Doom this whole time they wanted to use Dr. Doom. But you say that after Jonathan Majors got in trouble.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, what's wrong with that? Hey, we had
he's
Kang.
Never wrong, D. He's never wrong.
We wanted to use Kang. He ended up getting into legal troubles at the worst time known to man, especially with the existence of that ass shit called Quantumania. It just lost its traction. Kang as a villain lost its traction. Like y'all was saying, y'all niggas would be pissed if we was getting the Kang Dynasty, and this is the same Kang that got packed up by Ant-Man. Y'all said it out y'all mouths.
That's why we said recast that nigga and give us somebody else.
You can't recast him when the damage was already done.
Why can't you recast him? We've seen a coliseum of all these Kangs from different multiverses.
Going to work.
Yo, Rob, recast that nigga. People can be recasted.
You can
but I think the Rob point, like when it's already not being well received for what you put out there, and then you had an incident happen. Honestly, to be honest with you, I didn't see people speaking highly of Jonathan Majors as Kang until after all the legal stuff.
Yeah,
literally, it took after all of it for me to actually see people be like excited by it. But after all of the legal stuff was also after Marvel decided to move on and go a different direction. That's when people
you go in a
started to
different
be
direction,
excited
and
about him.
thank God we can use a white character.
Maybe, but I do
Ain't
get
no
Rob's
maybe,
point. I
nigga.
do get his point there. Like, if you see that it's going in the wrong direction, like you might just go, okay, none of the movies have performed well. The TV show, I don't know. I thought that Loki was good. I don't see any issue with Loki. But maybe because the movies is where you get the money at. The movie that you had him in at this point did absolutely bad. You thought that it was going to be good, and it did absolutely bad. Then he also caught up in this legal battle that you don't really know how you going to navigate or how you should navigate it because it's active. Like again, with James Gunn, with people like James Gunn or people with Robert Downey Jr., it wasn't active. Like we do gotta understand. Like this is the first time, at least it's and Thanos.
Roman.
Yeah, like all of those situations, it was the past kind of resurfacing. But this is active, like in the middle of you doing a
So
rollout with this guy.
since they sit up here taking the initiative to say, you know what, we backpedaling because we didn't really believe in this direction. I want them to do that whenever they think of the next She-Hulk shit. When they think of another Ant-Man fucking movie, I want them to start saying shit publicly now. You know what? Since Ant-Man and the Wasp was fucking ass and Quantumania was ass, we gonna get rid of Paul Rudd and we not gonna do no more Ant-Man shit. You know what? Since this character ass, we gonna stop doing all of these fucking movies too. Don't wait till a nigga fuck up to come out your
No,
fucking mouth
I
sideways.
hear you on that part, but then again, also another part to consider in it is that Jonathan Majors might have violated a level of his contract. Whereas like the characters that we talking about, if the movie sucks with them and their character sucks, but they don't violate their contract or they
When
don't
the
do
last time when the
anything.
last time we fucked with a Thor character? When with Thor? Infinity War?
What do you
He
mean?
had Dark World. He had fucking
Love and Thunder. That was the last time.
the last time we seen him. I'm saying niggas ain't been a fan of Thor since Infinity War. All
That
this
was the
goofy
only time
shit.
they were a fan of Thor.
But he like one of
Exactly.
the founding characters of the whole success that you
You
receive.
see how
Like
you keep
Thor.
coming up
My
with
issue
with
with Thor,
excuses,
I'm gonna
nigga?
tell you this. My issue with Thor, you're supposed to be this all powerful guy, but you're getting bodied left, right, and center.
Yeah, he in a terrible position. He's been in it since Taiki Waititi has done his movies. It's a terrible position.
He's
Then
been
I don't
in a
even know. They
terrible
went a
since
whole new
2013, since Dark World.
yeah. And that wasn't even I get your point because that wasn't even a good movie. But it's like, yeah, like that character has been all over the place. And I guess Doomsday is gonna be kind of like the redemption for all of that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Jay, you
It
ain't
seemed
wrong.
good.
Loki is the only one.
The only one what?
Probably that had pretty much that had a good redemption and a good
Yeah, fact.
storyline because Loki season 1 and 2 was fire.
Yeah, they did
It
right with
was.
Loki.
I think that just shows that they have that's why again I'm so easy on Marvel cuz when you see certain TV shows such as the Loki, such as the Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, such as the Agatha All Along, or the WandaVisions, or the Thunderbolts, or the Fantastic Four, even in some instances the Captain America, not obviously all of the movie, but some of the movie wasn't too bad. They just you see the instances of when Marvel puts their best foot forward, they can still create some heat. And that's what I'm thinking from all of the leaks, all of their changing up how they release these things, changing up who's releasing what, changing up who's going to be directing what. They're getting a lot of people who read comic books, and I could trust those directors. Destin Daniel Cretton hasn't done anything wrong for me to not trust him. Ryan Coogler hasn't done anything wrong for me to not trust him. Jake Schreier, even though he's only done Thunderbolts, hasn't done anything wrong for me to not trust them. They are able to the main thing, which is character development and be able to focus on the characters. All of those directors have been able to pinpoint and be able to also navigate some pretty horrendous things that have been placed upon them. Ryan Coogler specifically. So if I have any any hope, it's the hope with these new directors and the Russo brothers to be able to streamline all of this shit to be a cohesive unit. And on top of that, you got the mutants. So I feel like you
Yeah, they
get a
just
little
gotta
bit of
treat it. They gotta
wiggle room.
just treat it more seriously going into the mutant saga.
I
And
think
to
they
be honest
will.
with you, the mutant saga, to say that's what you want to do in the next direction after this previous saga, it's really kind of ballsy. Because that you talk about characters where character development really is like very important. Mutants are that. They are, you can't be playing around with the story and the characters. You can't be having no humor quota or any other quota that you trying to meet when it comes to the mutants. It's expected that the story is great when it comes to the X-Men. It's expected. Like it's just the truth. The Fox movies, one thing about at least like the X1, X2, X3 movies, they realized that like they did put a lot of that character growth, character development, the relationships and such, having us understand that even in some of the side stuff that came out. It's why when you get things like Logan, we able to say that that's a good movie with the background that we've had, because the idea of Xavier at the point that he's at in that movie is something where you can kind of like feel it. You can feel it because you saw those original, those X1, X2, X3. You know all of the stuff you went through, and then even if they have a large gap or blank between that time, because of how they developed the character in the previous iterations, you're able to come to now this point that you're at with Logan and really feel like, okay, yeah, this Xavier hit his breaking point. It's sad, but I can understand it because of how they developed everything. So in that, and again, the Fox X-Men movies they had their flaws. Oh, they had their flaws, but even they were able to understand with their flaws, they were able to understand how important that character development and like, you got to get serious with the X-Men. You got to get serious with them. They not funny haha like that. Yeah, you could have Gambit doing a little joke here and there or whatever, but when we talk about the tone overall of the X-Men is a tragedy. It is a tragedy. That is what they are. You do this humor stuff with the X-Men and disregard the character development with the X-Men. Yeah, good luck. Good luck with
Hey,
whatever come after.
and Rob wanted to make Magneto a nigga.
I was about to say recast
Magnegro.
Magneto as a
You
nigga.
talking about diversity, you talking about niggas in the streets with white hoods. I would have one on too.
Yeah.
You make Magneto a nigga.
I think one more thing for the recasting thing. I think that they pick and choose when they want to recast. I think when it comes to like a lot of characters that are in a lot of projects such as a Black Panther or Kang, they're going to be a lot slower to recast those characters because of their faces being so prominent in various projects. When like a Thunderbolt Ross, he was able to be recasted quite easily because the last time we technically seen him was what? Technically, I guess Infinity War, if I'm not mistaken.
Was it?
Infinity War, yeah, because he was talking to them. He was talking to the heroes. It was either Infinity War or Endgame. It was probably Endgame. I was watching them recently, but he was talking about the Sokovia Accords. If I'm not mistaken, y'all should have signed blah 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 blah. Or Captain America pulling up. He was like, "You're not supposed to be here." Blah 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 blah. But
Oh.
he wasn't that prominent, so I think that they pick and choose it specifically for a reason. I think really they're just waiting for this shit to blow over with Jonathan Majors because he's such a good actor. They're like, it's hard. It's gonna be hard to find his replacement regardless. We're not gonna be able to find another black actor to the same black male actor to the same acting prowess as Jonathan Majors at this present point in time. So we might as well just stick it out, wait a couple years, wait till the reboot happens, and then we could do another Kang storyline.
Man, they don't get Jonathan Boyega. They recasted Ed Norton. You mean to tell me Ed Norton ain't a better actor than Mark Ruffalo?
I think for the Hulk, yes.
He's a phenomenal actor more than Mark Ruffalo.
Exact, and they sat there and was like, you know what? Fuck it, get Mark Ruffalo in here. They did not get no phenomenal actor to replace Ed Norton for that. So I don't want to hear no argument about we ain't got no other black actor on the same
But nah,
caliber.
but that's even more of a point for my side, because if they got another nigga comparable to Mark Ruffalo, y'all niggas gonna be like, what the fuck are they doing with Kang? So it's like they in a lose-lose situation. They can't not recast them because niggas want to recast them. But if they recast them and pick any other actor at this present point in time that's not old as shit, such as a Will Smith, Denzel Washington level of actor, niggas is gonna be even more upset. Cause why y'all shitting and pissing on Kang's legacy like this?
I think we got black actors that could have filled the shoes enough. But Keith Stanfield.
I can't see that tall, lanky motherfucker being a Kang.
Nigga, bulk up like everybody else.
If the money right, he'll do it.
If the money,
I
nigga,
can see Lakeith Stanfield being a Silver Surfer type character.
bro, he's an actor. He gonna be whoever the fuck I pay him to be.
I don't know. The same way y'all talking about Alan Richardson earlier, talking about he'd just be too Jack, too Diesel to be Venom, Eddie Brock. I don't want to hear this nonsense talk about Lakeith Stanfield sitting there and getting that fucking Kang armor and be like, yeah, this is Kang. That tall 6'4" ass nigga, lanky motherfucker. I do not want
I
to
couldn't
hear
see
it.
him be Kang.
I do not want to hear it.
Rob, he's got the chops to play Kang.
Hell, he can have the acting chops all he wants, but the same way y'all was talking about Alan Richardson and the body type just not transmuting.
Who
Dude,
the
whoa,
fuck
whoa,
said
whoa,
Kang
whoa,
was some
whoa.
diesel ass nigga? Jonathan Majors is a diesel ass nigga.
Yeah, and he fits the bill of Kang perfectly.
Edward Norton was a tall, skinny, lanky nigga. Or is he even tall?
No.
Mark
he's probably
Ruffalo
like
is some
mid-
5-foot
size.
librarian looking nigga.
Mark Ruffalo looks more like a Dr. Banner than Edward Norton. He does. Edward Norton
You'll
looks
say
more like a
anything.
regular.
You'll say anything to be on
He
Marvel.
don't look more like a doctor?
It is
Mark Ruffalo don't
disgusting.
look more like a doctor than Edward Norton?
How you look more like a doctor?
It got a look to him.
Because they gave him some glasses and a purple shirt?
It got a look to him. How he talks, how he interacts. Edward Norton was more like a regular guy in his Hulk movies.
Because it was only him.
Sage
It was
did bring
only
up a
him.
point. Sage did bring up a point though that I think is worth some kind of thought. What if they do just like Jonathan Majors? Like they want to use him again. That's why they just like we got to put them on hold for a second because they want
They
to
don't
use
like
him again.
niggas that much, Lyle. Come on. He is not Samuel L. Jackson.
But he did
Now,
not
Samuel
do a bad
Jackson came
job.
out.
But he
If
did
Samuel L.
not
Jackson
do a bad
came out,
job
if it
with
came out
Loki.
that Samuel Jackson punched Margot Robbie in the mouth and she needed facial reconstruction, so they're like, all right, that's Samuel L. We're gonna give you about a 2-3 year hiatus, nigga. We'll bring you back. Wesley Snipes, you avoiding paying your taxes? Okay, Wesley Snipes. Niggas love Wesley Snipes. We'll bring you back. Jonathan Majors, you just stepped out on the scene? Nigga, fuck you.
If
they love niggas so much, he wouldn't have lost to 100 ants.
I hear you. I don't
He would not
disagree
have
with you
lost
at
to
that
Ant-Man
point.
if they
I
really
don't
like
disagree
niggas
with
that
you at that
much.
point. But I think if he take a couple years off and he able to rebuild, like people are willing to give him a chance and he's able to rebuild his acting career, I think that based off Loki and based off the reception that people had like immediately after he was let go from Marvel, and that kind of dragged for a little bit, the people saying bring Jonathan Majors back. That was I'm sure that made its way to Marvel.
You think
I'm
Tom
sure
Hardy
that
was
little
too big to be Eddie Brock? JETN?
You said who?
JETN said, how was Tom Hardy not too big to be Eddie Brock? I thought
was too
Tom
fucking
Hardy.
old.
Tom Hardy was just too old. I think he was more so on the smaller side for Eddie Brock.
Yeah, he only like 5'9", 5'8".
That's what I'm saying to Alan Rick. Come on, man.
Alan Richardson is 6'3", nigga.
Yeah, bro, that's
it would be the perfect size for Eddie Brock.
Bro.
Pause.
No, he'd be the perfect size for Venom in a mocap suit.
See, and that's why I think
Eddie Brock's human size is generally cited around 6'3" tall.
Like, I
Come
hear you,
No,
bro.
25-year-old
Again, it's not
man.
translating. It's not
It would translate
translating in no
great.
live action movie. You got this 6'3", probably
Yes.
225.
Yes.
I get it in an animation, Sage. I do not think it look as nice seeing that in real
And Tom
life.
Holland's in this MCU, we need an Eddie Brock that looked like the dude from Euphoria that was with that Latina joint.
Yeah.
Tall white dude, the one that they want for
Yeah.
Cyclops. We need
He
a,
said
a,
so.
a, a little skinny type. He could be 6'3", but he can't be Alan Richardson, Rob.
Yeah, bro.
But
Like, come
Lakeith
on.
Stanfield, if they made Lakeith Stanfield Carnage, nigga, it would really be Tiki Torches out there. Y'all can't even let us have the
Nah.
villains. Them
Nah,
niggas,
yeah, they be
He's not
bugging.
gonna be Carnage.
them
Yeah, they
folks
not
is
they
gonna go
lame.
crazy. I feel Lakeith would be the perfect Silver Surfer. He has the perfect body type. You ain't even got to get too diesel, brother.
Could see him in Silver Surfer.
Because he does those weird, quirky acting gigs. And Silver Surfer is a weird, quirky ass nigga.
But he's an actor. He doesn't want to be typecast like somebody like a Jason Momoa who loves being typecast as this
Like Lobo.
rah badass. Yeah, he's wanted to be Lobo his whole life. He wants to be a surfer Lobo
Blanca
badass
from
dude.
Street
It's like,
Fighter.
nigga,
Another
like,
example.
nigga, as an actor, don't you want to branch out and do something different? Jason
I think
Momoa
he
was
could do
comfortable with
serious
that.
stuff though, because Silver Surfer does have some, especially if they're doing some comics like the Annihilus Wave.
Yeah, Silver Surfer is a serious character though.
He can really
But
show off
Lakeith
his
can do
acting
that
chops
too.
with it. Yeah, he could do
Exactly.
it. That's why I think he'd be perfect because he could do the weird, like, very monotonous tone that Silver Surfer speaks with, and then he could branch off even more once he ends up leaving Galactus at some point in time, helps fight against the Annihilus Wave in the future, all that jazz. I think he would have the gravitas to be able to play a character like that.
I mean, shit, he really, they can have anybody in the Silver Surfer joint. Lawrence Fishburne plays Silver Surfer.
Yeah, as long as it's not Shia LaBeouf.
As long as it's not that DEI Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
Gosh. I didn't think she did a bad job, but we didn't really. That's another example though, where it's like you don't like what was memorable about that character in that movie.
Her scenes as the surfer.
Save the day.
Yeah, no. Her saving the day was some bullshit.
And her floating on the clouds outside of the black hole. Hey, and chasing
that was dope. But you think,
Rob,
but we know Norrin Rad has his girl, and that's the reason he's a Silver Surfer. They showed her with a little girl running around, and like they was the only people on this planet, and it was like, okay. And then all of a sudden she's like, you know what? It's only one nigga in the whole entire universe that has told me about myself, and now I'm about to go and kick my master's ass for these niggas that I just met a month ago who trapped me in a black hole. Come on, bro.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is again, it be like to D's point, bro. It'd be a quota more so than it be what we gonna do with this character, because nothing about that Silver Surfer was like memorable. Nothing stuck with me where I'm like, I got to see this Silver Surfer again.
I think
like she did such a good job. The role that she had was so good that I can only hope that Marvel will bring her back so I can see her again. Huh?
So that I think that was the point, so that they could use Norrin Rad, so they could go back to the original when they have the opportunity, when they reset. I think,
but the problem is they do this for too many characters. Like after a point, that's the problem, bro. Like they do it with so many characters that you alienate in your fan base because of how much you doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Like you literally, again, the biggest purpose of that version of Silver Surfer was for a quota. It wasn't for the impact that character would have on the role in the movie. That's it. Because you don't want to use okay, even if you want to use the excuse that you don't want to use Norrin Rad now, it's still around that quota, more so than it is. We think that we could tell a great captivating story with this iteration of this character. That's getting old, bro. Like, it's tired. It's happened too much. The girl, that's why, like, I like, the mystic girl that they introduced in Ironheart. I like that character. I like I like that it's different. It's just a character that's not attached to anything that, as far as I know, anything of significance from like
Strange
the
Academy.
comic book or anything within the comic books.
Strange
I
Academy.
I possibly I like that it's a character like that. But now if they just brought her in to have a black mystic girl, and that was it. Like and it's just another one of these quota examples. That pisses people off. And it's not that's what I'm saying. You got your basement dwellers, but then you also have these other people who look like they align with the basement dwellers. They not align with the basement dwellers, but they look like they align with the basement dwellers because they seeing what's at play and they saying you don't really care about these characters. You haven't given me any reason to believe that you care about these characters because you're more focused on how you can position and make yourself look and who you can attract and whose eyes you can attract and what algorithm you can solve than you actually are at giving me a character that I can fall in love with. So you don't really care about these characters. There's fans out there that feel like that. And they seeing how it's being wrapped around things like humor or diversity or sexuality or whatever the case may be. And it's not to say that don't go ahead and try those things. Sure, go ahead and try those things, but just make that character worth it. Like, it's that simple. People didn't even love Tony Stark. You brought that up. Tony Stark was one of the lower characters and the comic book popularity when they first started this whole thing. They made us fall in love with the character. They made people who don't even read comic books fall in love with the character. They didn't do it on the purpose of was Tony Stark humorous? Of course. Yes, we've seen all of the movies. We've seen how it goes. He was humorous, but he wasn't the humor quota. They didn't look at him as a humor quota. They didn't look at him as some type of other quota that could possibly be in play. Unfortunately, in this case, it's a white guy, so it ain't really many quotas you can fill. But he wasn't, even though humor is used with Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark, it wasn't to fill a quota. It was let's make these people, let's write this character in a way where people fall in love with. That's the problem. We ain't been getting that.
I can see that. So you heard it here first, Marvel. As long as you recast T'Challa, make it Damson Idris, make Lakeith Stanfield Kang, make Magneto black, and have him have a civil rights background.
Don't make him black.
Kill off Doom and then make Kang the main villain at the end of Secret Wars, and boom.
Sage,
Why are we doing all of that?
hold on.
You know Rob got to be
Everything
extra, nigga.
Sage, the fact that you love, like, you give them so much grace and so much love.
Yep.
It's like Marvel's Bill
Yep.
Clinton. You're Monica Lewinsky.
Oh,
To me,
yo, T told you wipe your
see?
chin off.
See, Jay, you get it.
To me,
Nah,
my
I mean,
nigga.
I just give them a lot of grace. I can understand what they were trying to achieve, and I can understand that
It's
a lot
because
of
you
the
love
times,
Spider-Man way too
a
much.
lot of the times they fell short on a lot of things. I will be the first one to say Secret Invasion was ass. First one to say Quantumania was ass. Even though I did like Kang as the character as they wrote him in that story. I can understand a lot of the grievances. I can also understand what was happening, the machinations behind the scenes that was severely limiting Marvel and what they were trying to accomplish. From Disney and Bob Iger, because Bob Iger don't seem like a nigga that generally cares about these
See,
characters.
Yo, I get that, Rob,
hold
but
on, hold on,
here's
hold
my
on,
thing about
hold
the
on.
grace thing, T.
But
If
let me just say one thing before you
go ahead.
you go ahead. My thing is, it's individuals like you that make Marvel have the ability to literally most of their projects take a dump, put on a plate, and serve it up. No, because you
Don't
keep
say that.
because what you're saying
Don't say
is
that.
you're but you
Don't
have
say
it.
that.
But here's the thing, you have an excuse for every mistake that they
Did I
make.
have an excuse for
But-
Secret Invasion? No, I just told you literally out my mouth that Secret Invasion was
But
a hot pile of ass. The Marvel is a hot pile of ass. I have no excuses for that. I have no excuses for Quantum Mania. I don't have the excuses for why Multiverse of Madness didn't really sit well with the fans. These are all things that they need to work on. Most definitely. Marvel has a lot of shit that they need to work on. There was
so
also
I,
a
I
lot
got
of
I got a
things
question.
behind the
If someone
scenes
keeps
that
punching you in
was
your face, you
negatively
gonna keep giving them
impacting them.
grace?
It's not like Marvel has kept on
Nah,
punches to the
yeah.
face. Everything
No,
that
can't
they
yes
do
it
dropped
is.
that.
Listen
hasn't
to this
been
real
ass.
quick.
This is the problem that I have with y'all niggas. Because in the first couple phases, Marvel dropped some ass. Thor 1, ass. Thor 2, ass. Thor 4, ass. There's hella movies that they dropped. Some people say Captain America, the first Avenger, was ass. It's a lot of projects that Marvel dropped in the first couple phases, but because there was so much good shit in those phases, y'all tend to forget Marvel has been dropping ass since its inception. So I'm sorry if now is the phases where they dropped a little bit more ass than normal, niggas is just willing to be like, all right, I understand, but y'all niggas can get it back because I've seen y'all get it back in the past. We
No, but
cannot just sit here and act like a lot of those movies were just impeccable. A lot of
nah.
that shit was ass.
Nobody said they was
I could give
impeccable.
them. I do get where you coming from at the idea. Like we should be able to get them some grace. Look, people should be
No.
able to make mistakes. People
Listen
should
to
be
me
able to make
real quick.
mistakes.
Before I've been cut off. Hold on. If all y'all was to take y'all girl, y'all wife out to her favorite restaurant, right?
This is not our girl and our wife.
Listen. Let's say twice a year she want to go to this Japanese house and they serve steak and sushi, and she been a fan of it ever since God knows when. And this restaurant is top of the line Michelin star, and they bring it in God knows how much fucking money. And you sit up there and you do a 12 item tasting menu, and you get a bill, and it's $1,100 for two niggas. And the shit was just all right that first time y'all go. Second time y'all go, it was fantastic. The third time you go, you see on the sign, we have a new investor. We done made $20 million last year and the food is ass. You'll be like, all right, now, y'all got all this fucking money. How the fuck you putting out this ass shit? If y'all claim to be masters of the craft, who you hiring in the back of the kitchen
Niggas with a lot of money.
to be putting out this fucking ass shit? Then you give it another time. You say, you know what? It's getting better, babe. It's getting better. And they still making more money off of us every time we come in here. It's getting better. Oh, what? We've been acquired and we got more money. We've made $40 million last year and another Michelin star. Oh God, the food must be divine. And then you get another sample of it and it's sub fucking par. How much grace can you give somebody knowing they bringing in revenue, knowing they hiring the best of the fucking best, because they have to screen chefs. You don't have a chef in the back that isn't knowledgeable on nigiris and sushi and how to do a fucking roll and who doesn't know what dashi powder is. These niggas have to know what this is. They have to have the required amount of years in the craft to know what the fuck they are about to put out to the guests.
And that's what they're doing now.
No, and we keep making money on people and people will keep coming back because of the name recognition. If we got Nobu on the sign, they're going to come back because it says fucking Nobu. But if we keep putting out ass and people keep coming, I'm not going to have to check your fucking resume and call to see if you really the chef you say you are. I'm going to just let you hand out these fucking hand rolled sushi items, even though you ain't brushed the soy sauce on the fish so it don't taste right. I'm going to let you sear the steak to where it's blue and not medium rare like the nigga asked for. Fuck it. They'll come back, whatever, because of the name of the restaurant. That's exactly what Marvel is fucking doing.
It would be a different story if they weren't seeing repercussions for the ass that they have released. But we have seen the repercussions in every single film that they released last year. We seen the repercussions when Captain America Brave New World flopped. We seen the repercussions when Thunderbolts didn't make as much as people projected it to. We seen the repercussions when Fantastic Four didn't make the
And you know what the repercussions
the
are, Rob?
investments.
The repercussions are hire that fucking chef we had here 10 years ago that brought all these people in here in the first place. Bring him back. Bring him back and put him in the front of house so people know that he's back in here.
No.
So now when people come back, they be like, oh, the chef, the master chef that you all had that got this place popping in the first place is back. We must come back here and eat this slop, even if he's at the helm of it. Talking about Robert Downey Jr. as Doom. That's the fucking repercussion of Marvel.
But that's not even the chef, because they got the Russo bros, and every single Marvel movie that they have released has been certified classic.
So you got 3 chefs.
Winter Soldier, classic. Avengers Infinity War and Endgame.
To his point,
Endgame was not that fucking good.
It's a classic nonetheless. Whether you want to believe it's not, it made a Billy Plus. It's a classic.
Yo.
Classics. And now you bring them back in order to set the tone and to finalize this story that has been all over the place.
They bring them back because they stopped checking resumes and let niggas like Taika Waititi start cooking in they fucking kitchen.
And that's what they're trying to fix right now.
So how can you give a nigga grace if he don't want to go through the process of understanding who he bringing into his restaurant?
It would be a different story if we were here today and we seen a fucking leak that said Taika Waititi is at the helm of Thor's storyline for Doomsday. Nigga, I myself would throw my PC out of this fucking wall, out of this building, if that was the case. Yes, because Thor Love and Thunder and Taika Waititi has done so much fucking disgrace to the character of Thor that I don't want to see him again. That's another instance of me just not liking Marvel and making excuses all the time. I understand Taika Waititi was a terrible choice, but them doubling down on Destin
was a fucking waste of a character.
Them doubling down on Destin Daniel Cretton, them doubling down on the director Jake Schreier for Thunderbolts, them doubling down on Ryan Coogler leads me to believe that they actually care where these characters are going in the future. They're actually getting comic book familiar people as the directors in order to help focus on this. Reason why people were so ecstatic about Spider-Man is because Destin Daniel Cretton had fucking comic book covers proliferated all throughout his director's office, showing people that he was up to date with all of the comic book material that he was using for the Foundations.
Zack Snyder had comic books all over the place, and he got crucified for putting out
They're
some shit.
switching. Zack Snyder is a different person.
I don't give a fuck if he lived with a fucking nigga that's dressed like Spider-Man.
People still have a cult-like following for Zack Snyder nonetheless.
Bro.
They still do. It's still thousands of people still asking for his cut to this day of Justice League, his finalized cut. All I'm saying is the difference is they're switching away from a lot of the shit that they were doing, from the big projects to the small projects. Daredevil, they went back to the same people that was doing the Netflix series and who made it so good and decided to bring them back fully. Maybe they did that too late. Yes, you got that. But they still brought them back. They understood that this shit just wasn't working. This new way in which we're doing it is not working. We need showrunners for these shows.
They did Daredevil Born Again.
Dedicated to this shit. We need...
The niggas that did Daredevil on Netflix did Daredevil Born Again?
They did bits and pieces of it. They brought them back like halfway. I'm pretty sure if they were done completely with the new team and they brought back the old team because the product just wasn't as good to their liking, to their standards, to the standards that it was before. That's them acknowledging, hey, this shit is ass. So we need to do something better. And I think that the last couple of projects that they have released have shown me that they understand that a change is needed. That's all I need for somebody. As long as you can tell, hey, this is the shit that I need to work on and I'm going to work on them. Now, it's up to you if you work on them, but so far, they have been showing me that they are working on it. Marvel Zombies was a diamond in the rough of a TV show. Had a lot of great things that we haven't seen from a lot of characters that we haven't seen in quite some time. You got fucking niggas excited about Wonder Man.
I tell you one thing.
You got niggas excited about Spider-Man, the Punisher.
I tell you one thing. they got the Master Chef back, but like in 2-3 years, they about to be cooking with puffer fish, and they
Ain't them shits poisonous?
If
you
you
gotta
cut them
cook
right,
Very
it.
delicate.
you gotta cut them right.
You gotta cook it right, and that's what they about to have with the X-Men.
What better way?
This is, bro, I'm just telling you, look, we can
Boss
make
to the
as many
wall.
excuses as we want. I hope they got it together, because this is one where you can't not have it together.
You gotta have it together, and I think that they will. That's all
When you
I'm
got
saying.
400 million to do anything, you better have all that shit together.
You
I
That's
ain't
where I'm
mean, you
coming.
can have the most money all you want. Nigga, Tron had the most money. Where did that goddamn sequel get him? Nowhere. Nowhere. Avatar had the most money. Where did that second movie get him? I mean,
$2
they still
billion.
probably got $2 billion, but that movie was ass.
But whoa! You can't say that, Rob. It made $2 billion.
made $2 billion.
The movie
That's
still
your
was
logic.
ass.
I said Endgame was weak. You said it made $1 billion.
It still did. It's still a classic.
Fuck out of
Avatar
here.
2 is still a classic technically. The movie's still ass.
But it's a classic. From your
It's
logic,
an ass classic.
nah. So is Endgame then.
Hold on. Blank Man's a cult classic. You don't see that? Did a Billy?
Facts. Drumline's a fucking cult classic.
It didn't
Did I
do
see
a
you
Billy.
make 100 mil?
You don't have to make a Billy to be a classic. But
You pretty much just
the
stated
movie-
that.
the
You
shit
just
classic
stated
to be
that.
a Billy.
y'all putting words in my
Yo,
mouth.
let's end
It
the show,
made a
y'all.
Billy.
This nigga sleepy.
I'm more inclined to be like, hey, that's you. It's undeniable that that's a classic.
Hold on.
If it's a movie that
Hold
made
on.
a Billy, that's Star Wars numbers. That's rare numbers. I don't know if y'all understand that. It's
Nigga,
rare numbers. Sinners didn't
Captain
make a
Marvel
Billy.
made $1 billion.
Sinners
Wait,
didn't make
wait,
a Billy.
wait,
I
wait,
still
Captain
think
Marvel
that
made
Sinners was
Captain
a classic.
Marvel made $1
hold on.
billion,
Yo,
and
D.
so did Aquaman. Are
D.
those fucking classics?
But D.
As classics.
So it's still a classic though, from what you're saying. If it does
It's still
a Billy, it's a
classic.
classic. But you literally just said you did not say that.
I didn't say
Here we go.
that just
Backtracking.
a classic needs to have
You're
a Billy.
backpedaling like a
I
terrible
said
cornerback.
if it has a Billy, it's more inclined to understand that that movie is a classic to some form or fashion of people out there.
So
if it made $1 billion, Sinners did not make $1 billion.
You
I
shouldn't
still
have.
call that a classic.
When the last time you heard a nigga talking about Captain Marvel?
Don't worry, we'll wait.
The one in 2019 that made $1 billion.
When did I say that niggas been talking about Captain Marvel?
But it's a classic.
It's an ass classic.
It was not a classic, Rob. It made $1 billion because of its placement.
I'm sorry
If
to
it was
tell
terrible,
you,
it was never a classic.
I'm sorry
if it's terrible.
to tell
Come
you,
on, Rob.
movies on a regular basis don't make nowhere near as close as $1 billion unless it's an animated film on an IP that has been fleshed out for years and years. You want some examples? You got Sonic, you got Mario, you got Minecraft, you got Lilo and Stitch. All of these movies who have had IP for years that have been perpetuated within the mainstream society.
That's not true. Zootopia ain't been out since 9 years.
It's an animated film.
But you said unless an animated film has an IP that's been out for years. You said Sonic,
or
Mario.
if it's just an animated film, regardless.
Rob,
outside of those movies, you can look it up. Movies on a regular basis, live action movies, don't turn around and make a fucking $1 billion. This is some shit that's been unheard of until Marvel has came to the forefront of the cinematic universe.
What has?
Movies consistently overtaking $1 billion. You got specific releases such as Titanic.
Why is
you
Marvel?
got specific releases such as Star Wars. You have very few and far in between movies that have passed $1 billion.
Why?
Hold on, I just looked it up.
Bro, Transformers got over $1 billion. Michael Bay's Transformers got over $1 billion.
That's an IP that has been again perpetuated within the mainstream society for years and years.
But my whole thing is,
I mean, you can say the same thing with Marvel.
But the thing is, what
I know.
money does not make a movie a classic. That's what it is at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's what I think they was
My
trying to
thing
get
is,
at.
it has to have originality, rewatchability, and timelessness. Some movies we just watch one time. They're not classics. They're not classics. So you said you said Avatar made $2 billion. Avatar 2 made $1 billion, and it's a classic. Did you rewatch that?
I said it was an ass classic.
But
I'm
it's not a classic. If it's terrible, it's not a classic.
Hold
No.
up. This is what I mean by ass classics. Just because you don't deem it's a classic, there was thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of other people that probably view it otherwise. Just because you
So every movie's a
personally,
fucking classic.
no. I'm saying there's different levels that you could dictate what movie is a classic. I'm saying the box office could be an indicator of it. I'm also saying the story and the recognition that the characters get can also be an indicator of it. Again,
So any
numbers
movie
can
can be
lie,
a
but when a movie where movies traditionally do not make over $1 billion unless something is good about this project, something that has fans gravitating towards it. Madam Web could have been fucking great, but it still wasn't making goddamn $1 billion, my nigga.
No, but okay, classic though. The word, like you could say, okay, I think what you describing is a box office hit.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a difference between like a classic and a box office hit, and I think like general appreciation. Okay, so I give you an example. T, you know Star Wars a little bit better than I do.
Yep.
The most recent Star Wars trilogy that came out,
They were
that
trash.
was
They are
universally
not classics. They were trash.
like not appreciated at
7,
all.
8, 9 did numbers, but it was trash. It's not a classic.
Each one of them hit $1 billion. I think if you said to any diehard Star Wars fan that those movies were classics, they would look at you like,
that's what it has, the IP of years and years on in the back.
But I'm saying that I don't think people would categorize them as classics. They would categorize them as box office hits. That would be a fact. Okay. Those movies were box office hits, but they weren't classics. Like people wanted, Star Wars fans would not qualify like across the board. They would not qualify that the most recent trilogy as being a classic for the Star Wars like movie, like for the world and the movies and the IP. For the IP, it's not a classic in that regard. So, but it absolutely is a box office hit. That's just fact.
Niall, to go off of Jay's point, he stated, people hate watch the sequel trilogy, but prove your point to known IPs. People, it will put butts to seats. I.e., I got one, Morbius, a terrible movie, but it did enough in the daggone box office. Thank God we didn't get a second one. But people hate watch it. Some people go to see certain things because of the name, and it's terrible. That doesn't make it a classic because it does numbers. It does not.
Yeah, just because you can't equate the numbers to because classic, there's a you could go to across the country, like you could literally go across the country and go talk to somebody and they're gonna say, yeah, that was like, okay, to give you an example, Sage, to your point of just because you might not like it, that doesn't mean the masses don't. I hate Titanic. I am not a fan of Titanic. I don't love it, but if you go ask
Jack
a bunch of different
that woman
people,
off that daggone board and survived.
I hate that movie. But if you ask 1 million people in the United States if Titanic was a good movie, they're gonna tell you it was a good movie. That's a movie that is a classic, whether I like it or I don't. Mm-hmm. But
I was gonna say, staying on the comic side, is Blade a classic?
I can rewatch that movie all day. It's a classic to me.
I'll
rewatch that movie.
The first Blade made $131 million at the box office.
I'm not saying
lower than the Marvels.
Like I've been saying from the get-go,
God
is
damn.
the box office is not the only indicator. I'm a lot more inclined to just lean towards classic if it's reached $1 billion, because it's so hard to reach that
No, it ain't.
outside of it is. If you
Not when
look
you
at
Captain Marvel.
most movies never reach $1 billion. They don't even reach half that threshold, let alone $1 billion. I'm a lot more inclined. It could be some ass movies that have made $1 billion. We all know this. I'm not negating that. But like you just said, Blade made 100-something million. But when you factor in that it was the first Marvel movie that was released after they sold all their rights away to different companies, and it single-handedly saved Marvel, that's what and the story wasn't too bad and the action was pretty good.
Solid, yeah, it's a
It's a
solid movie.
classic. I factor in a lot of other things as well, but I can understand.
Was
your
Aladdin
point.
with Will Smith good? I never seen it, so I'm asking y'all.
I don't remember. I don't think so.
That made $1 billion.
Fuck no,
wasn't
that
a
wasn't
classic.
good.
I never heard
It
anybody
was
talk
no
about that movie.
rewatchability. I watched it one time.
Dark Knight
and that
is a
was it.
classic.
Dark Knight is a classic.
Dark Knight is a classic.
Dark Knight 2 is a classic.
That's Joker. Dark Knight 2 is a classic.
You talking about the Bane one?
Nah, Dark Knight 2 is Joker.
So yeah. So the second one, the whole Batman
Wait,
Begins.
what's Dark Knight 2?
That's a classic.
That's a classic.
So
Dark Knight
Batman
3 not a
Begins.
classic.
Oh yeah.
Dark Knight Returns. It's not a classic.
Not a classic.
Like I feel like I'm always. I like
Spider-Man
that
No Way
movie.
Home, a classic. The rest of the Spider-Man trilogies for Tom Holland, not classic.
I can rewatch Far From Home.
Far From
I
Home
can't
is
watch
cool.
none of
I'll
that
probably
shit.
watch Homecoming first before I watch Far From Home.
Be a Menace, Drinking Juice down in South Central. Classic. I could rewatch that.
Classic. Probably didn't even pass 400 million.
So your
Box office
whole
total.
point, straight and valid.
Okay.
Why you do this?
Okay. Okay.
I understand. I get what you're saying, Sage. You're saying that this is what Sage is saying is that there are multiple things that make a movie a classic. But generally, when you look at a movie making a crossing over into $1 billion threshold, especially if it's not coming from a long history of like being known for like 30, 40, 50 years, it usually is something that can tell you, okay, there's something about this movie that may point it in the direction of being a classic. But that doesn't, the number alone doesn't automatically make it a classic.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. All right. So like I said, Marvel turned Magneto black. Bring Lakeith Stanfield as Kang.
Mhm.
Why is all this happening?
And make the little black boy from Stranger Things Miles Morales. And boom.
And,
10s out of 10s across the board.
And
Latinos would string us up to a carriage and pull us apart if that dark-skinned nigga was playing a Puerto Rican.
why?
There's dark-skinned Puerto Ricans.
Not that dark, nigga. They do
Yes,
not
there
fucking play.
is.
Not that dark.
Yes.
No.
All right. Well, appreciate you, JTF, for stopping on by. If you got anything else, I don't know. Did y'all have anything else that y'all want to say?
No, I'm
We had
running
a
on
good
3 hours of
show.
sleep, and I need to knock out for the
Yeah.
night.
All right. Bring Blade back. Make Gambit black street performer from New Orleans. Boom. There you go. All right.
Make
A
a
bucket
Little
drummer.
Wayne.
A thieving ass bucket drummer with a Cajun accent. Lord.
That's crazy.
Shooting shots in the niggas' mouths of liquor, of liquor, of liquor, of liquor, of liquor.
I was about to
That's what they
say.
do in New Orleans. Nonetheless, we appreciate y'all yet again for stopping on by at Squad Nero. Episode 91. Our first episode as the new year has dropped. We got a lot of content coming up. Stranger Things, Roundtable Talk coming up soon. We have The Boys, we have Invincible, we have
A lot of anime.
What else? Jujutsu Kaisen, all sorts. There was another one, Sentenced to Be a Hero. It's like an hour-long intro episode. If you haven't watched that, go tap into it. I posted it on our Instagram story. Fights look crazy. Yeah, Yeah, I think that's it off the top of my head. But we shall be dropping more content, new content as well. So please be on the lookout. Again, if you're coming from that YouTube side, hit that like, subscribe, leave some comments for us, hit that noti bell as well to stay up to date with all the content that we are dropping. Be on the lookout on all our other social medias as well. Squad Nero Podcast at Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter as well. All right. We appreciate y'all yet again. Happy New Year. And we shall see y'all next week. Peace.
Doses. That was a good shot.
It's a lot longer than I expected.
Yeah, that was a long shot. But we,
You know, it can still hear you, right?
We couldn't really avoid it because it was like we didn't record, and it was a lot to talk about.
Yo, you can still be heard.
That's cool. What's good, niggas? You thought it was over? Nah, we back up in this thing.
Why are you like this?
You are here now listening to the smooth sound of the Blackout with Squad Nero. Sit back, light that split up if you're smoking. Hold that drink up if you're drinking. And just chill out and smooth ride with us. You dig?
But a snake